You already know what time it is. It's about to be that time. Street Fighter League Japan 2024 returns with some more fantastic fights. Division F today for episode 4. I cannot wait to see what's in store. But before we get to any fisticuffs, gotta run those introductions. My name is Sakonoko. I am joined with Vicious, my G. How are you feeling about today's fights?
Pretty ecstatic when you consider the lineup. When you see on the sides who's going up against what, it's hard not to be excited for it, right?
100%, brother, 100%. We have VARREL, we have Yogibo starting off the charge, and even more in store. In fact, a team, Hiroshima team Itsuka, also, who is on deck, what many people would say is a shadow pick.
I think, you know, some would kind of like argue against that, but most of the people at home would most likely agree with that. To be honest, I think I would agree with that as well. In case you guys hadn't noticed, we actually kind of changed things up. We do have 2 divisions. We're going through Division F this time around. Reason being is because we have 12 teams in total. We get to divvy up the talent, unless, you know, we'd be going pretty much all day if it was a round robin. So again, it's 6 teams per division. In regards to the rules itself of Street Fighter League, if this is your first time around, each of these teams have 3 players, with the first player match being best of 3 worth 10 points. The second player match follows suit, also being a best of 3 for 10 points. However, the third match will be a bit higher stakes, as the players will be battling it out in a best of 5 worth 20 points. Now, if a tie ever occurs within the team battle, with both teams scoring equal amount of points, an extra battle will take place with its 4th. Actually, they get to choose who their 4th member should be, with the winner taking 5 points for the tiebreaker. And again, we have it designated with the home and away rules. Of course, the home field, they're going to get the full advantage of being able to counterpick against the away team. So the away team, they're going to designate their players, they're going to designate their order, as well as the characters, all for that sweet spot in the top 3 of the playoffs. The way the playoffs goes between S Division and F Division, we got to see who ranks up between the top 3. After that, within their bracket, the number 1 team from both divisions get to face off against each other in the grand finals, and the winner of that gets sent out to Capcom Cup to face off against the other champions of Street Fighter League EU, as well as Street Fighter League US.
This will be happening shortly, and I can't wait to see what happens on those regions as well. But that's the end part, right? That's what they're gunning for. That's what they're working for, alongside that big prize pool, which we'll talk about a little bit here in a second, with 8 million yen in total, plus a little bit more for the awards. But just overall, the fact that these teams are gunning to be at the top, land Japan, and how close everything has made for some fantastic fights. You mentioned the fact that we had the tiebreakers. We've happened to see that quite a bit, even in the very first episodes of Street Fighter League. And we have seen some blowouts too as well. And I guess more recently, more 30-10s to get a little bit more points on the board. But as mentioned, everyone gunning for that top spot to be the best in land Japan, and to face off against the US and EU teams. They've ran their combines for the US. EU, I'm sure, starting off real soon, so we'll divvy up which teams will be out there fighting it out next year. But man, that prize pool, brother, that's another thing to work for, right?
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, once we get into that, it's going to be a pretty significant amount of change, something to really kind of glaze over. And most of the times, we kind of focus on just like the main edition of like that pot, being able to play for something as much as the biggest title of, you know, the best team in Japan, but also having 8 million yen is a pretty big ordeal. And we get into that split later, but most of the time we kind of talk about what's really at stake for the players, right? Being named champion is really all that matters at the end of the day for a lot of the players here. Being able to like get themselves geared up for the main event of a Capcom Pro Tour as well. But looking at it, when you look at Division F, it's been pretty straightforward, right? There hasn't really been a tiebreaker scenario thus far. It's primarily been very convincing for one team or the other, right? It's going to be like 30-10 all the way through. But in regards to the matchups themselves, they've been very unpredictable, and for a very good reason. There it is right there. The 7 digits, 8 million yen on the line. First taking the lion's share of 5 million, second place taking 2 million, and third walking away with 1 million as well. And with the junction with a lot of the sponsors being a part of Street Fighter League Japan, they've actually added a couple of extra incentives, which we will be showing up just a little bit later on. Title holdings also being a very critical part of the entirety of Street Fighter League, along with those sponsors you can see over in the banner right over there. Boom. For the most part, we talk about the prizings, we talk about the incentives of being able to play off over in Street Fighter League World Championships. The extra that they put on for the players as an extra incentive, they've had another welcome change this season, and by ways of like celebrating the players, right? As they crack open. Listen, first and foremost, before I even get into the awards, Aru and Hamato, I might be able to see them in September. I'm gonna ask them what it is they're drinking on the desk, and I'm gonna try to bring some back to America. I'm gonna try to mail one over to St. Cola, so that at least one of these shows, we'd be able to crack one open at the same time. That'd be kind of sick, right?
I would be so down for it. I just want to know what, like, the taste, what it tastes like. It looks cool. It looks cool.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. But again, we are talking about like the big incentives. They do kind of like bring that up little by little, and a lot of things that have been going down in terms of participation with the audience over in Japan, right? They have so much going on in terms of like viewership participation, being able to view it along with like the caravans and some of the organizations. It's been very, very active with a lot of the fans in Japan, and when you got to like witness it over at EVO. There were so many players and so many people in general that were spectators and really big fans of it all. It's actually kind of astounding as we get ourselves ready for the big awards. Yeah, there it is. Finally, can we talk about it? We sure can. Here we go. They do have the following awards. They have Season MVP, Rookie of the Year, Point Getter Award, the award for the highest and best win rate, as well as the Drive Impact Award. I'm pretty sure you folks at home can guess which one is our personal favorite between St. Cola and I. I'm pretty sure there's no doubt, right?
Oh, 100%. I'm definitely for the Drive Impact Award. We've seen that come through quite a bit as the league has progressed. That's also one of those things where I feel like Drive Impacts are so difficult to land on pro players, and it's just so satisfying to see it work out. 50K per award winner in terms of yen. That's quite a bit to be smashing that Drive Impact, but again, gotta put you back into it considering the pro players that are out here and the professionals on each team. In fact, speaking of teams, we have for the very first match, VARREL versus Yogibo Reject. Now, I gotta say, Yogibo Reject, shouts to them for making one of the best, if not the best, announcement trailers in the business for their players. It was amazing. If you haven't seen it, go to their webpage, go to their Twitter, go check it out. It is super cool, and it just showcases like I guess the personality of all the players out there. So that team, beyond just that, the incredible trailer, has an incredible lineup of players behind them: LeShar, Torimeshi, Akira, and Tokido. Now on VARREL though, different name, same strength and flavor out there, but with just one more addition. Daikoku is new to the squad with Moke, Mizuha, and Mago backing him up. I feel like, again, we mentioned these teams, and every time I'm like, man, this team's super stacked. But then you mention other teams, like this team is super stacked too as well. All for different reasons, whether it be the characters, the pedigree, the play style, the difficulty of just fighting these players also as well, their strategies. It's all different, and it's making it really hard to call who's going to be taken, who's going to fall. Like, this is a very contentious league where everybody is on the same line, it feels.
Yeah, most of the time when we talk about like a home and away rule setting when it comes to Street Fighter League Japan, we're kind of like toward whether or not being on the home side makes a very, very significant difference. I feel like with the way that Division F is specifically, you'll get some of those counter picks that are like, ooh, that feels kind of rough. But it still ends up in a very, very big surprise. I think majority of the time, the fans at home are going to be very, very excited to watch the development of both divisions. In particular, I think one of my favorites has to be part of like Division F, just because of the diversity of the characters overall and the overall age group. I think the inclusion of both H's, you got the Hikaru and Hibiki on the same team, that blows my mind, because I'm a very big fan of both, just seeing them play against the meta, against the grain, and finding some pretty significant success and kind of like thriving on that. But then you also have some of the heavy hitters you mentioned with Yogibo Reject, on top of having newly redone teams with Hiroshima Team Ikuza as well, as we had mentioned. So a lot really going on for these teams in terms of character variety.
Yeah, that makes it very exciting. I mean, I feel like the other division has more of those like meta specialists that we are used to seeing, but like this one, as you mentioned, has a lot of players that you don't typically see, or the characters you don't typically see. So we get a lot of variety out here. That means more ideation. That means more good Street Fighter. And again, VARREL, Yogibo, the very first teams. Let's introduce our very first teams on the deck. We'll start with VARREL. Again, different name, same strength out here. The unyielding rebel, and with one hairstyle almost as cool as mine, if not as cool, is Daikoku, the god himself on the guile, swinging out the booms. After that's going to be the Hero Sunrise. No surprise, Moke be putting in a lot of work with that Chun-Li. Definitely believes in that character. Has taken her to high heights offline and online. After that, Prince of Rapids still swimming upstream. Mizuha with a very wild Scamby Cammy to be able to take down opponents. That's very difficult to kind of nail down what he wants to do in his game plan. And of course, you know him, you love him. It's a 2D god himself, Mago, and I think it's almost September. It's getting close to that time. Careful now, this team is one to look out for. Again, the names are familiar, strategies are gonna be different here, but it's gonna be the same sort of powerhouses that you would expect.
I love everybody being in tune with like their animated personas, but on the other side, maybe not as animated, but they're definitely very, very serious in terms of their gameplay. Well, with the exception of maybe like Tokido and Akira, they're very much so like pretty happy-go-lucky dudes now. As you can see how talented of a roster they are, they've had the inclusion of one of the most talented players in the world. Let's get a better introduction of who the home team is. Yogibo Reject starting things off with the Korean Golden Finger, LeShar. And he be throwing some hands. It's not even just the finger, it's the 5-finger discount. He got the whole package. This man is one of the most dangerous ends, followed by the High Priest, Torimeshi, coming in with an ever-impressive Dalsim play. Character specialist through and through, making it work for himself, as well as the lightning fast phenomena. It is Akira holding up one finger in the air because he just don't care. He will dive kick you, followed by one of the many geniuses that we were ever blessed with, the FG Scout, Tokido, coming in with his 10. Now, I always kind of think to myself, Tokido he's got to be practicing Akuma on the side because that is his character. But as it stands right now in terms of his gameplay, we got to see Division F play last, what, maybe like a week and a half ago. We didn't really get to see... We didn't get to see a lot from Akuma from that team, right? It was Ken, Dalsim, Ed from the side of Tokido, Torimeshi, and LeShar. Let's take a look at the order now for VARREL. Ooh, okay, so Daikoku, being the anchor from last time, actually had a really, really close bout with Goichi. He's taking the seat. How do you feel about that?
I think that's fine. I feel like maybe having him as like the vanguard would have been better here because Sim kind of deals with Moke, but Moke's style might be problematic for Torimeshi. We'll see if that happens. Mizuha at the very end, though. I like this choice. This is going to deal with a lot of what is on the team of Yogibo Reject. You got the Cammy against LeShar if he wants to come up. That's not going to be so good. Torimeshi can't go there for sure because Sim's going to get clapped up. Then you got Akira for the mirror match. I don't know about that. Like when we go into a mirror match, that leaves Tokido to come up, and most Kim players either think it's like a 5-5 and a couple 5-5, or they just don't like the matchup still. So it kind of draws out the players. And just as mentioned, Torimeshi comes up first to fight the Chun-Li. Many Chun-Li players don't like that matchup. She doesn't get to enact her pressure like she'd like to. Their fireball game, like you establish in the neutral, isn't as comfortable. You can teleport away, put some fireballs at play. So I feel like this is a good way to run things, but I'm still worried about the end. I'm still looking forward to the end, but we'll stay focused on what's in front of us.
Yeah, in terms of what it's like for face value, Chun-Li versus Dalsim, I don't mind actually this pick. I think overall, I like the walk speed and the overall kit that Chun-Li has. On top of that, her normals are great. Her getting around fireballs is great. Her having a fireball herself is really annoying actually in neutral. I don't know, like I feel like I haven't really heard as much of the inner workings of a Dalsim versus Chun-Li. That's just me personally. I haven't been able to talk to any of the cats in Japan or kind of like pick their brain, but a good handful of them do speak English and are able to answer back in English when it comes to like matchups and whatnot. But in terms of like watching CFN, Torimeshi had actually been practicing with like another Chun-Li player. I don't recall who it was because I couldn't recognize the CFN. But it felt like it was pretty even in regards to how the matchup went for him personally. In terms of Moke, I didn't get to see Moke practice against any other Dalsim player But then again, I haven't really seen him. I personally haven't been able to see him play, so I don't know how to really call this one in general. This one's kind of like a tough one just because of the how little we get to see the matchup, right?
I think early days was when I really got that info, like the season 1. Now as months go on, it's harder to ideate what the reality is, and it's difficult because you rarely ever see sim, right? Like nowadays, you have to be really looking out to find a sim player, and it's really just Torimeshi, it's really just Mochi. You know, you have just a handful.
Right?
That's really it. Sabrina, when he was playing, right? Like there's only a handful. So even figuring out that matchup beyond that, I guess after a couple months, it was kind of hard. So there is a chance where this is absolutely fine. Or Tencho Kick can definitely reach in some angles where you like to float or like to put out those limbs. So I'd like to see how it's evolved. Moke says it doesn't matter who comes. And you know what? I like that. I like that energy. It doesn't matter who comes up to him. He's going to swing at them no matter what. Moke has always been about that confidence. He's always been a little bit of a troll too as well through the interviews as well. But I want to thank the Street Fighter League fans by winning this game.
That's the kind of attitude you should have. And you know what, Moke, he's always been one to kind of thrive on that confidence. Even if he ends up like losing certain games, he'll always find a way to kind of like boost himself up. And I think that's a really, really strong showing of a competitive player, right? I think that's something that's kind of showing me that he's still willing to work out a lot of the losses that he's had to hold on to throughout the league, and he's progressed for the better for it, right? What we see is evolution from Season 1 into Season 2, not even just for the Street Fighter League, but also for the Capcom Pro Tour. He's made himself quite the strong competitor with Chun-Li, in where certain players kind of like dropped off and picked a different character. Not Moke, right? I feel like Moke is one of the few that's held on, really held on to Chun-Li.
It's funny because I feel like as people had dropped the character, when the patch notes had dropped, he was streaming and he posted a clip of him just cheesing, being super happy, and like you see other Chun-Li players dooming, being upset, oh my character's dead, yada yada. He's happy as hell. He's like, she got off scot-free comparatively to other characters. He felt that she was so strong. I talked with him at CEO. He was like, yeah, I still think that she's top 5. Now maybe things have changed within the past couple of weeks, but his showings have been fantastic offline and online. So I feel like she's still good. The character's still amazing. You know, I don't know why people keep dropping the character personally. I think she's very good. Maybe she's like kind of hard to play, very technical character just in totality, but her reward is there. And it is strange to see people drop, but hey, Moke sticks with the character. Torimeshi, though, says, I lost my away game last episode, but today I chose Moke as my opponent. He did it on purpose. He knows what's at stake. He wants his revenge. Wants some points for his team. Let's see if he can get some. Moke versus Torimeshi. First match of the day. Let's go.
Here we go, game 1, Moke versus Torimeshi. Already pretty mobile. Look at how much Torimeshi has taken to both the skies and trying to keep it ambiguous. Moke just intimidating already with the walk speed itself. That was actually an excellent anti-air already with the conversion. Insane. Watch out for the throw. Very delayed tech from Torimeshi. Oh my god. Moke is relentless.
Get in insane and get sim. That's the way to play. Holds parry right there. Needs to get in once again. The air-to-air. Caught the teleport. We've known Torimeshi to be a very flighty opponent. And it feels like Moke's prepared for damn near every single option. However, 8-2 back for Torimeshi. Lands the punish counter. Gets him picked up. Yoga Inferno right there. Puts on the fireball right after. What's next? Yoga comment.
Can't really do much while the fireball was still active. Moke living on a pixel, essentially. One more touch from one of the long limbs will definitely take the round. And Torimeshi, he's playing it kind of safe up until that point. Yeah, Moke, he thought he'd be able to snipe it out. At least the Yoga float goes right past Chun-Li's body. Torimeshi, and I like him backing himself up with the Yoga Comet, the OD version, or even like a Yoga Fire OD version, I should say.
Yeah, it's more like limb, fireball, or limb, fireball, instead of like limb, fireball, or something like that. Just keep her out, which is possible. Nice jump. Fierce gets the punish counter. The knockdown is there. Perfect parry. Trying to hold tight. Torimeshi getting hell of aggressive right now. Like that, not look for something super committal in terms like the anti-air approach. He's willing to eat a few fireballs here and there. Resets back to neutral. Just needs to be able to get that lead and keep the lead.
So much activity and so much space being kept away with Torimeshi just kind of floating back and forth with this jump fierce as well, coming down against Moke. That kind of activity. Oh, and it caught the recovery of the parry. Level 3 is going to be more than enough damage. Let me hold my tongue. A lot of scaling involved. Hold on. Not quite dead. I knew it was a little suspicious. I felt it in my bones.
But it's so hard to come back against this character, man. It is so difficult. When he's got the lead, he backs off. You know, like Torimeshi's been doing. He gets the lead, he keeps it. It's one touch away, and you're just swinging for the fences, trying to find something to hit.
And it's tough. It really is tough. Trying to find a moving target is going to be the biggest challenge when you face off against Dalsim. Now, Chun-Li, I feel like, is pretty capable on a basis where she can kind of whiff punish, but she has to make the right reads if Torimeshi is not throwing out those limbs for free, right? God, what a conversion again.
Beautiful. That's the Russia against the training stance, though. Off on the corner, but Torimeshi doesn't mind too much. Those fireballs have been locking. Okay, down, does get the DP right after, though. Overhead, yes. Blessings from above. Spinning break kick. Okay, right after it.
Oof. Ooh! No, that was a punish counter. Interestingly enough, I thought that was going to be like a jungle state. No way. He thought he could get away with trying to uppercut against Dalsim from that high away. The invincibility on is going to be way out of bounds.
That's been the adjustment. Go a little bit higher. Hit the fireball off. Disallow that Tencho kick from coming through. The shimmy on him. Blocks out the cross-up. Dive kick hits. Yoga Noogie. Back to full screen.
Good read on the jump back against Torimeshi, but Moke not really being able to convert is going to be very, very difficult for him as the momentum is completely shifted back in Torimeshi's favor, going back into the same type of play style that he's been doing to annoy Moke. Level 3, this time, I still don't think it's going to kill. Nope. Let me hold my tongue again. There it is. Man, this guy is a pro. 2 games straight, 4 rounds straight, both in ways of ending with a Super R3. Kind of insane. Actually kind of insane. One of the fastest matches we could ask for with characters that can be very, very slow paced, or at least one character that can control the pacing at a very, very slow, I guess slower standard than most.
But the fact, though, it feels Torimeshi just gets that lead, keeps it, and adjusts to any sort of situational things that we've seen. He changed up the timing of the jump fierce to deal with the stand kick and heavy kick, the anti-air approach. Like, he is proven, because he was smooth, and that man is happy. He came up on purpose. He knew how this matchup was going to go, and I think part of this was how Moke wanted to play. My man's a very aggressive Chun-Li player. He's willing to go into burnout just to get that one sort of situation like we saw with the driver's forward heavy kick. It didn't work. It put him in burnout and put him on the back foot. Look at this. What can you do? Try to go for the Tencho 2-4 out. There's a punish right after. Well calculated every single time it feels. And even if that wouldn't have killed, here's the thing. It would have been a one-touch scenario. The fighting sim, full screen. He's got bar to work with. You might as well put the controller down. That is the game here for Torimeshi. 10 points on their side. Who do we send up next?
Yeah, it's really, really tough to even call it, right? That was a slaughterhouse, I feel like, against Team VARREL. But going up against Mago's jury, who do you send up indeed? I actually like Ed here, if I'm being real with you. It's got to be Ed or jury. Oh, sorry, Ed or Kami.
I agree with Ed. I don't think that matchup's too bad. Obviously, dive kick kind of makes it a little bit harder for an anti-continuously, but it's going to be Tokido. Really? Who's going to be in the anchor? I thought Tokido would be last.
Oh, very interesting. Do you think it's going to be one of those moments where Mizuha being the anchor kind of like entices the other Kami player to be like, you know what? I want this. I want the mirror match, right? Ken isn't also a bad pick either, all right? I think there's enough that Ken can do to kind of neutralize what Jury wants to do out the gate, right? A lot of the game plan kind of revolves around Jury gaining momentum, and she could also do that, like starting the travel behind the fireball. I think her normals are blessed enough to be able to counterpick. She has a very, very solid kit, right? She has a fireball. She has great normals with range, as well as plus range on a standing medium punch to kind of like enact a very, very difficult kind of situation once they knock somebody down. She has proper anti-airs with an uppercut. Very, 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 very well-rounded, right?
Yeah. I think on the side of Ken for this matchup, you're like close range fireball poking. You're using the toe tap off the run cancel to get in against like Fuhajin preemptively, or just to gain some distance. And I like the fact that we see like Odie fireball to kind of gain some ground overall from Ken, just to get some space within place. I feel like also, like, it's one of those matches where Jury doesn't do too bad overall. I think it's still even, but her being able to have like an instant overhead kind of puts pause on the kind of throw game that Ken wants to put on continuously, right? You have that instant overhead and an OD dive kick that leads you outside the corner. Also has the fireball pressure that kind of give you some space and a conversion right after if you're aware, and that's just not even a matchup, it's a general thing that she has. But Ken is Ken. Ken takes to the corner off of any interaction, harasses continuously. I feel like I've watched Tokido play a lot of Jury matchups, and he'll just duck the dive kick preemptively, and more often than not, I feel like it whips. So, like, he understands the matchup, he understands what's at stake, and he knows what to do up in the corner. I feel like he's one of the best people at putting people like through the pressure sequences up in the corner. He just has some of the best corner pressure in the business. This is also a funny matchup because they control each other all the time. I'm surprised they don't even have the headbands like last season. I want to see him though. Maybe if he wins, I'm not sure.
I gotta see what Tokido's new gimmick is when it comes to facing off against Mago. Again, this is only one of 2 interactions. For those that are following along, we are in a round-robin system, so all the teams will be able to play each other at least, maximum twice in the season. So seeing this right now with no gimmicks involved is like, man, were we slighted? Come on, man, we were expecting a little bit more, but that's what the interview's for, right? So Mago has his interview first, and he's low-key kind of disrespecting him a little bit. He says, Tokido, excuse me, Hajime Taniguchi came out. I was ready 3 years ago, but that last match, I lost. Mans is bringing in Street Fighter V into the equation, and he's pretty salty about it. But he said, I practiced with other Ken players to win it here. And I feel like that's the serious note that we're ending on, I think, with Mago, unless there's a little bit more in the translation that I might have missed, or that is slowly coming in. But this is the kind of energy you would expect from someone like the Tsuri God.
When it gets serious, it's hard to stop. It's almost September, so this guy's locking in right now. I can't believe he dropped the government. Really? Oh, wow, Mago. You like that. Okay. Tokido, we're going to get his interview in real soon. I definitely expect at least one line of trolling from him, but again, I'm sure he's locked in. I've seen him also practice the Jury players on CFN. There's quite a few more, I guess, out there in the land of Japan that I didn't even know about, like Nashi, who is pretty significantly good. I mean, he's pretty good at the game. So Tokido's got his practice in against that character as well. So I'm looking to see what the adjustments are going to be for Mago if he can't instant overhead continuously, what his defensive habits are. Tokido says, I know Mago prepared for this match, but I also practiced for this game as well. Let's see who is better. Oh, I love this energy, the back and forth.
I think one more thing to add on to the matchup, I feel like Jury is a little bit more expensive than Ken in terms of the amount of damage she gets per drive gauge conversion in comparison to someone like Tokido. Sorry, comparison to someone like Ken. Ken can get a lot of damage and corner carry without the bar. Right? I think that's a very, very significant thing to detail, because once you have somebody in the bar, if you actually, someone in the corner, once you have them kind of like locked down like that, any other conversions, especially off of the Fierce from Ken, can lead to so much damage. And the frame trap already getting started here in game 1. Mago, with all the momentum in the world, back-to-back throw loops.
Sorry, those mediums every so often. Had to spend quite a bit of bar, but got it back by being aggressive. I think you're right. That's one of those things where Jury players have to get better about is maintenance. When do I dash up? When do I drive rush up? Drive rush in with the medium. That's why her drive rush buttons are so dang good. Nice interruption. Level 1 after the target combo. Yeah, let's get it done. The newly added move right there. One more touch. One more hit. We'll get instant overhead to jump back. Blocks it out. This is burnout. Shit, that's it. Mago sequencing.
Excellent damage calculation. Already starting things off just like the previous round of Mago. He is so adamant about maintaining his pressure and being very expensive about it. We talked about that earlier, right? Jury has to spend a little bit more on the drive gauge to get some of the big conversions, or at least some of the big corner carry. So right now, you're starting to see that economy being spent from both ends, at least mostly from Mago. Tokido, if he gets another conversion, or something like that, He's getting so many fierces. He's chunking some of these blocks away. And Mago recognized that same exact thing. Ken still crouching. It's time for the feng shui. Rearranging the house. Boom. Great block. Great tech as well. But to no avail.
Like continuously trying to find an opening drive impact lands, and that's gonna be that. And all that happened because he aimed for the drive gauge right there. You saw the initiation for Tokido. He spent a little bit too much. The drive gauge stealing here from the side of Mago has been the way to play. There's tap parry not working out. We've seen a lot of the drive rush stuff get stopped. The bar usage, the maintenance of bar, not so good on the side of Tokido. I feel like if you're a jury player, because you have to do maintenance not only like the feng shui, stock it, the fuhajas, I should say, and then you also have to make sure your drive gauge is prepped up for damage, for corner carry, all that. You have a better ideation. For Tokido, he is just trying to drive rush in. He's trying to get in, whatever it takes, and he's not getting the return back. And Mago also aiming for his drive gauge, taking that away from his pocket. The burnout sequence into level 2, just allowing that drive impact to happen and get the kill. Mago, well calculated. The confidence. We talk about how this man, if he's got the momentum, the confidence, he is very difficult to stop. This is the Mago I want to see continuously throughout the league.
I personally think this is a one-time occurrence where Mago had some of the big lucky situations on his side. I think his big opening gambit threw Tokido off guard, but Tokido reassessing right now might make it much more difficult to open up upon round start. I kind of want to know what Tokido is going to start off with, if he's going to show off his own aggression instead of trying to like wait it out and expect neutral, or will he maybe throw out even something as simple as a fireball to check the forward movement from Mago right off the bat, which is also kind of dangerous because Mago, again, his first 2 opening gambits were pretty much charged forward. He's also, I think, willing to go in with a jump at round start. So I kind of think maybe will Tokido play passive? Will he kind of like sit back on the reactionary side? Or will he kind of go forward and be just as aggressive and match that aggression? I don't know. That's kind of tough. And I think Tokido is kind of thinking the same exact thing with his teammates. But Mago, he's big chillin'. I don't know. Usually when we talk about these kind of things, we kind of say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. This is a very, very special case. I feel like that opening gambit was great. Now you have an extra game to play around with. What do you do now? Do you focus on the neutral? Do you kind of like, do you play reactionary and hang back? It's kind of tough to call because Jury is so well-rounded that she can do that.
She can, and that hanging back can also lead to stocks, the fireball. We haven't really seen like the fireball game established to drive rush behind or walk up behind as well to keep the bar. So like that could also be another thing where he saves a little bit more of his bar. He dashes up a little bit more instead of drive rushing up. That could be like the aside from Mago. Now for Tokido, you're right. The fireball game also is deadly because the fact that she's got the dive kick and the hands are out for a little bit too long. But that could be an easy punish. You could make a nasty read, get the corner carry off of that, and at that great quarter pressure we talked about, the stand fierce, the crouching medium punch, the fireball game that she has is insane up in the corner. It just disallows a lot of that exit sign trying to leave out of the corner. So Tokido would like to avoid that. I'm with you. I want to see the opening gambit. What's it going to be here for Tokido and Mago? If I'm Mago, I'm waiting for a little bit just to see, just to snip out what the approach is. And he does OD fireball instead. Okay, safe and solid option.
Oh, we talked about that aggression. Tokido made a big gamble. Mago might have readjusted, and you see it, yeah, now he's taking a different measure in terms of like what his offensive choices are. He's trying to force the errors upon Tokido, not giving him any room to breathe. Exactly why he should go for the drive impact, and oh my God, Mago again calling out the aggression of Tokido. He's not even going to give him a chance to breathe off of this. Oh, this is so huge.
Crouching medium kick. This is not looking good. He's already got 2 stocks. The Fuhajin. Okay. Get the counter hit. Side switch. DP. Drive rush jab. Starter goes for the throw. Text though. Tap parry. Yep. Extra recovery. Easy throw.
Extra range on that. Oh, you could have been dead. Level 3. Okay, so Tokido is just going to halt the bleeding just a little bit. He's going to recover some of that drive gauge. The damage is going to be there. One more sequence from Tokido. One solid hit for him to do it. Oh, that's so dangerous.
There we go. Get the lead. Put the fireball game back on the menu. Tokido finding his shots a little bit better here. Okay, round start, fireball. Feel more confident, put those out. 40 DP, the first bust up we've seen here from Mago. Got hit with the crouch kick into Jinrai heavy.
No anti-air, very reluctant to do so. He's in a clip with a lot of low medium kicks in totality right now. Fall for it again, though he's hanging around that range.
Or if the tap parry will come back to haunt him, though. We see a lot of tap parries here from the side of Mago.
Again, he's still walking within that range of the low medium kick. Tokido, oh boy. No side switch, goes for the full conversion instead. Drive rush forward. Oh, the uppercut comes out, finds the mark finally from Tokido.
Mid screen, a lot of bar to work with. Mago, pop the level 2 if he finds an extension. Medium stagger step and looking for a reversal rebuttal. That could be whip punish. You have to be so careful these lows. Arm or whip punishable this season. Fireball, waiting for a reaction, waiting for a button to air to air. Air to air, the swamp, the jump, Fierce release off the table, but he wakes up with buttons, gets the counter conversion, into level 3 for the victory. Mago, defensive timings have been too on point. I thought the tap parry would get blown up. It wasn't. And now, the counter hit on wake up also puts Tokido to bed. 2 games straight.
Tokido waited a very split second to try to throw out a normal. You saw the counter hit flash right before the end. Mago decided to wake up with a crouching normal. Tokido might have been a little bit reluctant. I thought maybe like an OD uppercut was coming and thought maybe his timing would have been best to throw out the medium afterwards, like or at least maybe throw out a normal late. I kind of wonder. I want to go on CFN and see if he actually threw out a delayed medium punch while holding back. I kind of want to know if that was the case. But Mago, I think he sniffed out the aggression quite well. I think he sniffed out exactly what type of way Tokido wanted to play very, very early on, right? Being able to force that game 1 against Tokido allowed you to set the pace for the rest of the game. If you saw, just notice how much of a difference Mago played in game 2 of round 1. A lot of the times he was forcing the big OD uppercuts. A lot of times he was kind of trying to get throw baits, just neutral jumping over and over, which got that perfect. But this third and final round, it was really perfection in regards to reading the right things that Tokido wanted to do. That was very well played Street Fighter from Mago, and it ties us up 10 points apiece with I think it's 4 rounds apiece again, 4 rounds straight.
Back and forth here. It ends right now. I guess at this point you send up Mizuha. There's no way you send up LeShar. Cammy is one of the worst matchups for Ed. So I think at this point you have to go with a mirror match. As you pointed out, maybe it's a matter of pride. It's a matter of, I know how he fights, and I can fight that sort of style. You know, the speed star can definitely keep up with someone as aggressive as Mizuha, who has these wild style moments where it's like spiral arrow full screen, where it's hard to punch, if not impossible. No way, you're kidding me. They're putting up LeShar?
I really want to know how this matchup and that dynamic goes. Like, I've seen how the matchup can go from watching like tournaments and whatnot, but like I really want to understand how bad it can be from one party or the other. I really need to talk to a lot of the pro players about this matchup because, again, Ed is still one of the characters that is slowly but surely starting to get developed and really establish themselves in the current meta. But it's truly hard to tell just looking at their kit from both ends. I don't think Ed does well against very aggressive characters and ones that could kind of get around the flicker and fireballs in general. But I also like that his kit allows him to play even without that in regards to the range, like the medium ranges. He gets to play at a 2 and 3 range, maybe like 2 and 2.5 range, very consistently against someone like a Cammy as well, who kind of, I think, has to rely on dive kicks, right? But that's very difficult to behold. I want to see what the interaction is between these two characters with these two at the helm.
Yeah, I want to see what LeShar's ideas are maybe it's like the newly imprinted movement we've been seeing from a lot of the Ed players the past couple of months, where they use kill rush back and kill rush forward, also just kill rush in general to reassess where they're at, give them proper anti-airs. Maybe that will help out against the likes of, you know, Mizuha jumping in continuously with the dive kicks. The variance of the dive kicks, the jump ins is like the biggest problem I feel. You've got dive kick, MP low, you got MP throw, you got a million things to watch out for. Jump heavy kick at perfect ranges, and then she gets in with these faster buttons that she's poking with, interrupting your slower normals. It might be kind of hard when she gets close, but I want to see what LeShar does to keep him out. LeShar, compared to other Ed players, he's more pristine and clean in terms of his movement, his confirms. We've seen his anti-airs be very on point, so we'll see what he has for this matchup. First of 3, so he has a little bit more time to grind it out. Mizuha says, I practiced for it, and the team let me play as an anchor. I will just do my best.
Yeah, I mean, no better place to put your faith for the anchor match. I mean, anybody can really take over for the anchor match spot between these 4 competitors, right? For the most part, we've seen them perform, what, even like yesterday, not yesterday, sorry, a few weeks ago, multiple seasons. Even seeing Daikoku step up to the plate as anchor for the very first set of games that we experienced, that was actually down to the wire, right? When we saw that Guile matchup, we thought it was going to be in his favor, the way he was nailing everything. But yeah, Goichi versus Daikoku was mad close. I still think any one of these competitors could have been put up to the anchor spot, but I understand being interchangeable, trying to put Mizuha up on the plate to make sure that he gets his reps in as well. But seeing this right now, I'm actually kind of concerned to see how this really works out. Just to kind of repeat from what I was saying earlier, I want to see what exactly it is about Mizuha's Kami that has made it feel a little unstoppable. I mean, like, he's had so many different looks even from previous seasons. I wonder if he's kept that momentum here in this season as well. Here we go, game 1, Mizuha versus LeShar.
LeShar did say he thinks Ed has an advantage against Kami recently. This is like a recent thing for him. So he's going to prove it. Knocked out the Psycho Blitz. Kill rush right after it. Protect the throw, though. Back fist lands a punish counter. Gets the pop, the spiral arrow. Back in with the aggression. Crouch fears. Hold this throw.
Damn, that was so delayed. And I love that. Trying to keep him in the corner. The jump out, not as successful. You have to pay your toll for it. And you know what? We get the side switch at a pretty hefty price. Yeah, no frame traps here. Busting out with the super art. I like that from Mizuha. Pretty expensive, but well worth it. Free damage, we'll take it.
Definitely. $3.99. Best price. Falls to the fireball. The variance is too much. Driver's throw. Go up in the corner. Nice and meaty. Heavy drive rush. Stand fierce. Level 2. Let's get the kill. It definitely will. The DP in there. Okay, LeShar. I like this. The variance of the fireballs and the spark has made it hard for her to back this. Maybe last season was a lot easier for her, but maybe not now. Too much to think about.
Side switch, you already know it with the back throw. And speaking of, one of the highest rewarding OD DPs. What a snipe out against the hooligan. What are you doing up there, said LeShar. I didn't give you clearance.
You're down, it's not safe. Kill rush again, trying to adjust where he's standing so the DPs start landing, the dive kicks don't. Perfect range of fireball as well, and an anti-air drive rush jab to initiate. Back medium for the plus frames. It's a throw right after. We've just seen a lot of throws coming through. The dive kicks have not been hit. At least they've been down and low, so they're at least plus. Crushing light kick, nothing big off of it though.
Damn!
That's the work.
And that was a heavier version, by the way. He sniped that out way long ago. Level 2. More than enough damage. LeShar controlling both the grounded game and the airborne game. That was actually kind of sick. He gave him out in a way heavier uppercut. I think that was the fierce one. You're mine at the end. That was man, impressive. What a snipe out.
Like knuckles on the ground. And LeShar, I feel like he's willing to play in the corner, which is where most Ed players want to be, especially against Kami. Been so good about controlling the entirety of the screen. Finds a crouching medium punch, drive rush right after. Land the combo though. Back throw, there we go. Switch of positions. I want to see the corner pressure get better here from Mizuha. Backs up looking for reversal, nothing came. Oh, back up to the heavy kick.
Damn, that was active. It still managed to clip the dive kick. That standing fierce was excellent.
The Kintech, right? Like you back up in the anti with the stand fierce. We changed the variance with the dive kick though. Adding something a little bit different in terms of like the timing.
Oh, that was tricky. You're gonna do it one more time? You're gonna pay a lot if you try to. What a bait out too. He sniffed it a mile away, but he was up close actually. Let me take that back. He sniffed that a long time ago. Mizuha coming back with a rebuttal.
Greco, that hella meaty back medium punch, attacking the throw though. As he leaves the corner, it's getting harder and harder. We see more of the introduction of the heavy kick. DP does land, back throw. That's how we leave. Another grip. Nobody wants to be in that corner. It makes sense. We've seen the pressure from both characters, whether it be throw or the flicker.
That was Mag 4! Level 1?
This guy was
dude. How many heavies? How many heavies did he just do? A little bit of micro step action as well. That was a very, very expensive combo, but very impressive one at that.
Wait for a little bit, looking for a button, anything. Perfect parry. Punish, side switch. The new one. The spiral arrow to get outside the corner. There's extra damage, but that's okay. Drop reversal baits it out, OD. You're on borrowed time. Put this man to bed.
Did you end it with the level 1? Oof. Just fierce to the face. 2 games straight from LeShar. He talked about it in his interview. He thinks Ed has the advantage. We're starting to see it. A little bit of a timeout from the side of Mizuha. And I don't blame him from the VARREL camp. Now, I was thinking to myself, he got the 2 bounces on that. I don't know if he gets like a sequence that goes into level 1, but perhaps maybe the scaling would have been a little bit too much instead of going for that last uppercut. I think going for the last uppercut either way is just fine because of the damage output and the Oki you get afterwards. So I think that was a safe bet regardless. I don't think level 1 would have potentially killed because you're excluding maybe that level 1. You just go right into it. So I think that was a really good calculation, really good financial decision, I will say, from the side of LeShar.
Yeah, well spent. We don't have that Oki, as you mentioned, with the stand fierce right after get the kill. It seemed like Mizuha wasn't expecting because it was a counter hit, so he didn't even expect that to have Oki behind it. But I don't even think Mizuha was expecting, like me, that this matchup would go this way. We've seen the control with kill rush back, even up in the corner with the heavy buttons. Now it's at ranges where Mizuha is not expecting, where you might want to poke with stand medium kick as Cammy. You'd like to walk in with stand fierce. It's all getting checked and challenged for the most part. There have been some moments from Mizuha where he's able to put the pressure on up in the corner, but more often than not, the reads have been good. The DPs have been fantastic with heavy DP of all things. These are not fast DPs, people. These are very slow DPs. So he is understanding the timings. He is getting the right space. He's getting the right area to knock this man outside the skies, and he is doing it without much fear. It feels like most people, I feel like, when they fight this matchup as Ed players, they kind of try to go for like perfect parry, they tap parry, or they block it out. He's willing to throw out buttons, throw out DPs more willingly than other Ed players, and I think that is why he feels so comfortable in this matchup.
And I do like to kind of add on to that, his tactics against the dive kick that revolve around like the parries. I think that's really, really intimidated Mizuha majority of the time to not really do much about it, right? I think it's much harder to tell where exactly you're hitting the body to tell whether or not you're plus. But majority of the time, some of the parries that LeShar has thrown out against Mizuha led him to negative situations. So Mizuha was not really able to check with the dive kicks, right? Majority of Cammy gameplay that you've seen, you see the big openers coming in from like OD dive kicks, further out dive kicks to punish out normals, etc. But at this level, you know, LeShar showing off the parries, he's not losing out on anything. He's not losing out on drive gauge. He's making it way more difficult. I don't know in terms of like the hurt box and how it looks like for Ed, but it feels like it's enough for Mizuha to not want to press buttons, to at least kind of play it safely and assume he's negative.
Having a quick one of a way better start. Dive kick hits, gets off right after with the lights. Oki, Frank with the crouch spears. Trying to get the DP, but the angle is not perfect. Had to walk back just a little bit more. Oh, trying to get the throw, did not commit off the lights.
There was a counter hit. Was able to get the throw. Following behind the fireball. Perfectly placed drive reversal against LeShar. You tried to press a
do that
button after that. He tried it. Immediately after the OD blitz too, you madman.
There we go. On hit, this works out. We run that level 2. The rep, the DP, 4 Pierce, DP Ender. Fantastic. Already building up a level 2. Closer and closer. I like that kill rush. If you don't believe that you can get the anti-air, kill rush back, block it out. Meaty. Thought I'm doing something. It's a perfect KO. Set point. LeShar, that cycle flow. This guy is ridiculous on this character.
Ah, good check still from Mizuha though, being able to get the ground control against LeShar. How do you keep the madness contained in the corner? How do you keep going with your momentum? How do you find a way to open up LeShar? That's one way. Not gonna spend the bar, not even gonna put him into burnout. Oh, right above the shoulder! Level 2 side switch! Oh, this is looking dastardly. That's a punish as well!
Blitz. People to jump Pierce, the drive impact lands. No reaction here from Mizuha. Holds the charge Pierce. OD pickup. Another level 2 on the way. One more interaction of play to do so. Drive rush back throw. Anybody's game right now, Vish.
Oh, he was playing chicken, and guess what? He got the whole farm. He bet it all on the drive gauge, on the drive rush, and now drives him down into a 3-0. LeShar and Team Yogibo Reject walk away with a huge, impressive, and emphatic W here in the very first team battle. This has to be the fastest team battle in the history of Street Fighter League.
Bro, we just got here, like, but a few minutes ago. I haven't even taken off my coat, but it's time to leave. Yogibo leaving with the majority of the points, 30-10, and LeShar showing us something different in the matchup. Man, this is why I love fighting games so much. The evolution. 1 month, a matchup may be this. The next month, you never know, depending on what they present. And you saw the difference in how he plays compared to other EB players. This man will back up, use kill rush for the anti-airs, use the heavies, and be very confident in checking outside the skies. In fact, I think he was one of the most confident players in checking Cammy outside the air continuously. More in any matchup. Like, I'm surprised considering how slow the DPs are from Ed. He had to be in the right proper space. It takes a lot of work to do so, but it worked out for him. Just on the aerial approach. And I felt like Mizuha did have some good moments on the ground, like checking a lot of the forward momentum, but whenever we saw LeShar play defense, I felt like it led to victory continuously.
Yeah, and that's one of the biggest problems that we talked about, right? Cammy not being able to contest within certain ranges of like the 2 spacing, 2.5 spacing, or medium kick. Sure, it's a very, very big button that could lead to a lot of harassment. Crouching heavy punch as well, crouching medium kick can kind of step over some boundaries and check people illegally. But all jokes aside, LeShar has done a great job of finding the counter poke spacing and also the counter poke timings against Mizuha that led Mizuha to create or to kind of divert into a different strategy and go into way more dive kicks, right? Trying to go into like an airborne state. I'm kind of curious to see how many times Mizuha had gone to the option of like OD dive kicks just to kind of like spend that and chance his way into like opening up LeShar. But no matter how you spin it, LeShar had every aspect of defense covered against Mizuha.
And what's wild about all that is like there wasn't a lot of OD dive kicks, I believe. Like there was a couple, but like didn't feel like enough. It didn't feel like the drive gauge was that high. It felt like there was a lot of attack on drive gauge. You drive rush in with the mediums and things like that. That would be like the starters with the drive gauge, but not OD dive kick. I feel like he wasn't in the comfortable range, and he was like, if I'm not in the comfortable range, I'm gonna drive rush medium, or I'm gonna drive rush crouching medium kick, or my bar is getting harassed because he's hitting with the level 2 conversion. I'm back in the corner. I'm blocking this out. Like, I felt like he didn't have enough gauge continuously to hit the OD dive kicks to present that as a problem. Part of that LeShar fault, part of that, obviously, you know, spinning in the wrong places, but it's so difficult when you're getting checked. Like, what do? You can't walk him down. He's keeping you out with the 2 to 3 range right there off the medium. Stand medium kick alone. Like, you're not finding whip punishes. I'd be antsy too.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild to see how much activity is going on the defensive end from LeShar, being able to snipe out both the airborne game and also be as intimidating on the ground. That was impressive, man. He had all the right instances to get his gameplay started. His game sense was out of control for this particular matchup, and he's found so much of his win condition more often than not in such unique ways too. Like there's been so many instances where he had kept the pressure ambiguous upon the opponent's wake up situation. Like I think 3 times over he's caught Mizuha with a meaty normal enough to kill, right? I think there were moments where Mizuha anticipated maybe like a tick throw perhaps, but there were so many different layers to LeShar's openings or to LeShar's offense that it was so difficult to contest against. And that's something I really want to watch back. This whole set was insanely fast. That it was it really is something to be observed on a very, very slow pace, because just calling it from play-by-play is not going to be enough to truly dissect the genius that is LeShar.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the CFN after this. This is definitely masterclass in dealing with Cami Fair Ed player. Let's go to the team interviews. Akira said, fantastic team. I couldn't play today, but it was better with this order today. I really practiced with LeShar, and he really won it. So having that Cami on your team definitely helped out in terms of ideating what to do. I think that's what gave him the confidence, especially someone that can play at a similar pace. Torimeshi said, it was difficult to keep winning after a loss, so I'm really happy I was able to win. Tokido said, unfortunately, I couldn't win, but Akira was telling LeShar, really good advice. That was the reason for the straight win.
We are getting the interview in now, obviously from the winning team. Akira had his word first. Fantastic team. Could have played today, but it was better with the order today. I really practiced with LeShar, and he really won it. I mean, it was very, very clear. Clear cut, really. Torimeshi, it's difficult to keep winning after a loss, so really happy I was able to win. Tokido, fortunately, couldn't win. Man, hearing this from Tokido is kind of wild, by the way. Unfortunately, couldn't win, but Akira was telling LeShar really good advice. That was the reason for the straight win, huh? That's just hearing that again is just wild overall. What did LeShar say?
Sar said, I practiced with Akira so much and I was able to show what I practiced. So again, having that Cami practice led him to W. Tokido said, we are playing home game for more episodes, so wait and see our very fun order. So can't wait to see what happens here. But I can't wait to go back to this matchup. This was super sick. There were situations, as you pointed out, where we had kill rush meaty Stampears, like moments where Mizuha didn't expect a lot of counter hits, where had no idea that it was going to hit or that was a meaty situation. The Mizuha that led to success. The long range normal playing outside a distance where, okay, maybe this helped out. Drive rush into the flicker, maybe putting pause on what Cami wanted to do in terms of interruption, like crouching medium punch or stand medium kick. Maybe that prevented some of those poke normals. Using drive rush, flicker every so often upon everything else. Maybe led up to that. I gotta watch it back. That was a masterclass. 30-10. Yogibo reject, walking with the line, share the points against VARREL and LeShar, changing up the matchup in front of our very eyes. I cannot wait to see what Twitter has to say after this match drops today, brother. That was amazing.
That's going to be a very, very huge boost for Yogibo Reject. In total, they now have 40 points to their name. LeShar with a full redemption, same with Torimeshi. In fact, now that I think about it, wasn't this the exact, almost the exact same order? On day one, it was Tokido, Torimeshi, and LeShar, but it was like Bizarro World where Tokido lost, Torimeshi won, and LeShar won. To be fair though, Torimeshi and LeShar, very, very close games on their first day. Tokido, actually, he was the one that had a flawless record from the previous battle against Hiroshima Ikuza. So it's kind of interesting to see the way this played out. But Yogibo, they're at 40. VARREL currently at 20 points. And if you guys want to follow along as well and also get like even more so like insight on some of these teams, you can check out Capcom_esports. They pretty much retweet a lot of the activity coming from each of the camps majority of the time, or they'll put up the highlights as well, so be sure to follow along that way if you can, excuse me. And of course, Capcom Fighters, that's going to be your way to go for the Western audience, being able to tune into Senkola and myself. First and foremost, we appreciate you guys. And I'm glad that you guys actually get to have decent sleep majority of the time. You'd actually be a very great contender for some Sleep Fighter, to be honest with you. I know Inobashi Zangief was actually talking about that on his stream, I think yesterday. I was on some super DJing hours, man. I was playing some games and I had like 3 Japanese streams up and I saw Sleep Fighter in Inobashi's title. I asked him about it and he just said it's about sleeping, and I'm like, all right, cool, man. That's cool with me. That's the only explanation I need, fam. I'm like, hey, what is Sleep Fighter? He's like, oh, it's for sleeping. I'm like, all right, cool, man. Great. Thanks.
Cool. That's all you know. I'd like to participate, but as you have said, I also would be slacking in this right here. But it's cool that there's so many different events that are so varied. It's not just like the team battles, the 1v1s. Those are all great. Don't get it wrong. But it's cool that we get different things, and we are getting this new collection. When this dropped, I couldn't believe my eyes. I woke up, because this was after we did Street Fighter, we taped it. I woke up for a second. I saw this. I was like, nah, I'm dreaming. This has to be a troll or something like that. Went back to sleep. Woke up again. It was real. It's real. CVS2 returns. Rival schools also. I was never good at those games, but I'm definitely down to play. I'm definitely down to learn. If y'all can send me whatever's broken, just low execution as well. Just give me that.
In CVS2?
Yes.
There's a lot of broken things. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. There are some things that kind of require a little bit of execution, but like there's really simple ones. Like I used to play A Groove Ken, and anytime I would get like a confirm into like a custom combo, I would just do step kick, step kick, step kick, step kick, step kick into Shinryuken. That's it. That's all I did. It was good. It felt great. Like it's damage, right? Like
it's simple.
I didn't have time to do anything else. This is the era of playing like CVS2, Third Strike. Any of them, we played Marvel 2. Also, it's come on, man. Like that's all you picked up in the arcade, right? Then you would practice like trying to do stuff on a PS2 with like a pad. It's like, come on, it's not the same. But it's funny you mentioned that. Literally right after the show, yeah, I was winding down and I was watching some streams and I'm like, oh wait, there's a Nintendo Direct going on. Let me check it out. Then they dropped this. I'm like, what is happening? And I couldn't sleep for the rest of the day. I was so ecstatic. I had to I went on so many people's streams. I'm like, yo, we're back?
Did you see?
Old people are back? Hell yeah.
Bro, I can't wait to play these games. I never got to like really dive into it. I was like a Alpha 2, Alpha 3 player a lot. And our arcade didn't really have CVS2 until we got on the Dreamcast and then I didn't have anyone to play with. So now we get to play online, rollback, all that good stuff. A lot of good things going on in Street Fighter 6 still with Street Fighter League, as you see up on the screen, the lanyards and many more things. I'm assuming the buttons are coming through as well for the US, EU, and many more teams in Street Fighter Japan. So support them when they do drop in the Battle Hub. Street Fighter 6 has so many cool things. There's like a restaurant out there where you eat with a pile of sushi, I believe. Like you try to stack up the plates, whatever it is. Like whoever has the most plates,
yeah, right.
I could do that for you. I think right now I could cut through like 6 of those or 7 of those within a couple seconds. Like the sushi ones with the shrimp, tempura, I'm on that. I am on that.
Yeah, I definitely had that experience towards the end of my EVO Japan trip. Markman and I and a couple of others had gone through to one of like the what is that, the conveyor belt sushi places, right? So we definitely stacked up, I think, 20 plates each, minimum. That was actually pretty fire. Like, the food quality is just so hard to ignore, man. It's like, all right, you have like one of your favorites, then it's like, now it's time to adventure out. It's very difficult. But either way, what's not difficult is tuning back in. Be sure to get some snacks and some water when we come back. We have our second match for Street Fighter League Japan. We'll see you on the other side.
再開は20時13分を予定しております。それでは一旦失礼いたします。
Yeah, yeah, come on. Everybody come alive real quick. Battle of the strong, survival of the fit. Take your best shot. Hope you don't miss. I ain't never scared, never quitting is the motto. Yeah, yeah, come on. Everybody come alive real quick. Battle of the strong, survival of the fit. Take your best shot, hope you don't miss. Among us. Take it much farther. Fast with the hands, E Honda. Defend my legacy with strength and honors. I'm the greatest ever. It's a showdown. This is my arena.
ってるじゃないか。俺は旅を続ける。新しい場所で新しい風に吹かれていい戦いをして気分よく飲んで食べて全く悪くない。一杯おごるぜ。Get ready. You're done for one more. You're ready for a beatdown. Are you okay? Okay. じゃあまたな。
うまい。
さて、ああでも押してる。パリ
いやー、
2本連続取得はヨギボリジェクトでした。
ここから逆転したらかっこいいで。
主人公。そうだよ。
から。
チェンも OD 挙手、それでも打っていく。
うますぎる。
いいよ。偉い。
やばいっす。マン寸前、お互い。うわー、ちょっとパリが。
よっしゃ。
偉すぎる。
そうだよ。
ないんだから。
レシャーともいえど人間ですから。
ここでまあ端キープからバーンといければという代わりに行く。
今超運いいね。
超運が良かった。
今のは超運いいわ。
流れ来てる。
あるあるあるある。
流れ来てるよ。
ライン上げる。戻していく。頑張ってパリ。 投げてまだ残るバックで抜ける
オッケーナイスよっしゃ
マジか。
いや
主人公だ。
いやお前が最強だよ
これ優勝あるんちゃうか。
あるんちゃうかこれ
優勝しようよ。
さあここからは
Welcome back, everybody, to Street Fighter League Pro Japan. Vish is back at it again with Senkola on to team battle number 2. Let's get right into it. Man, it's already going by pretty fast. But starting things off with Belc FAV Gaming. Starting things off with the Pad Master. Won a title with TS. Coming in with that patented Akuma. Let's see what he brings to the table for this team. Followed by, you already know it's Ryuki. It's over when it comes to him getting his game on, as well as his turn to bat. The eyes of desperation from Ryusei. Also one of my favorite players to watch because of his evolution and his adaptation. All led by the strongest spear, Sakonoko. One of the oldest in our community right now in terms of the pro atmosphere, but still, mind you, one of the best to do it. Execution God himself. No wonder he's the leader, and this is also another well-rounded team you could expect.
Well, teams, though, it's a team that a lot of people have their eyes on. Hiroshima Team Itsuka coming up the bat against them. And again, it's not just the variety of characters that they have, but the rising tides of the players and how they've done online and offline recently. How the results have been stacked up against the best in the world, what they've been doing across the globe. It all leads to here to Street Fighter League Japan. Let's take a look at the players. Oh boy, here we go. Hiroshima Team Itsuka. Looking way better than last season. The heavenly win. Going down the competition. It's a Biki the Beef on the Lily. Character that is difficult to pilot, but he pilots so well. After that's going to be the Neon Genesis. Hikaru coming through. Yo, with the Aki pose, that is dope. I didn't even notice that last time. No, we stopped. Anyway, body spirit of play right here for Team Itsuka. It's going to be Jazzy, the Legend Slayer himself, on the Akuma and possibly the Luke, depending on the matchup. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. Last but not least, the Magician, putting pause to all the opponents. It's Aqua on the JP or Blanca if need be. This team is stacked in terms of not only the characters, the uniqueness of them, but also the talent. We've seen them rise to the occasion at different tournaments, take down your favorite players, and for a lot of people outside watching Street Fighter League, people have their eyes locked on them to at least make the playoffs.
I can agree with that. I can definitely agree with that. The diversity on this team is so difficult to counter against. And yeah, I think from both ends, I think they're fine. I think they'll have the home field advantage today. That's going to be so much of a challenge, I feel like, for FAV Gaming. But even being on the away side, it's like, how do you counter against certain characters? But taking a look at it, it's going to be a Shoto affair. TS, Sakonoko, as well as Ryuki, Akuma, and Ken. Not too much out of the ordinary, huh?
No Bison, but I think this is fine. 2 Akumas and a Ken. I think it's good to fight up against Hiroshima, considering what they present. You know, Akuma does well against, on paper, does well against Aki. And, you know, you already have another Akuma player that you might run a mirror match with, but TS is probably just fine at that. Ken also against Blanca might make Aqua go somewhere else, so I like this order overall. From both sides, it's going to be difficult. I feel like they're going to have to adjust. For Hiroshima Team Itsuka, though, I want to see where Lily fits. Lily, I feel like, is detrimental to Akuma. When I watch that matchup go, they're not going to have him go up yet. Yo, Jazzy coming up first. Akuma versus Akuma. We talked about it. He's well within that realm of fighting the mirror match, but so is TS, though. So we'll see who has it better out here. Sasumino Hado.
Yeah, Jazzy was also, he was definitely streaming earlier this morning too, if I'm not mistaken. He has been on his last like 2.5 days of grinding out Akuma matches, and I gotta say, like, he goes through a lot of different scenarios pretty consistently, and he'll reset to get all of his confirms down. So I do like the attention to detail that Jazzy brings to the table, and I love his readiness for multiple occasions, right? There are instances where he kind of sets himself up for certain defensive measures that a player might take and his response to it. which I really do appreciate it. Then he takes it down to ranked, which is kind of like, I feel like it goes against your training sometimes because people on ranked are nuts. I had the luxury of being able to play against like the Japanese community on ranked over at Evo Japan. Obviously it was a different season, but man, they are aggressive. They are actually super aggressive. So I don't know how much of that is that counterintuitive or not for someone like Jazzy, but I am a firm believer of practice makes perfect, and I think Jazzy has really done a great job of showcasing that, even on stream in terms of the work ethic. TS, I haven't really done as much of the research outside of just YouTube videos from what I've seen him play from like CFNs, but also his previous performance over in what I want to say like day one. Actually no, day one he didn't even get to play, but it was mostly just off of YouTube, right? But I think, if I'm mistaken, no, TS, I'm sorry, he was in the anchor match. That's right, I confused him with a different Akuma. He was in the anchor match, but he fell short to Kazunoko, and that's tough to throw him into the fire like that, to put him in the anchor spot on day one.
Yeah, that's kind of difficult. So now he's leading the charge in the Vanguard. You know, it's funny because I feel like TS, maybe it's just me, but he just started streaming a lot more recently, a lot more Battle Lounge matches, while Jazzy will just sit there and grind out rank continuously as he does in 5. He's ready for any sort of aggression that comes his way and all the stress that rank can provide. TS is like grinding out Battle Lounge matchups continuously. He also is playing a little Ken. So I asked him, I was like, are you going to play Ken now also? And he's like, it depends on the matchup. So obviously he's in the wayside. He can't switch, but maybe he'll switch a little bit later on. At least he can't start with Ken, I should say. TS said he was expecting Lily to come, so as I was too as well, but he's pretty confident in playing the same character. Jazzy says, I know TS is playing against Akuma a lot, but I lost the last episode. And Jazzy, we talked about it, was the Legend Slayer last season. Really came out and put his team on the map, was definitely the MVP for his team continuously with that loop. He said, I'll do anything to recover my loss. He is willing to make a deal with the devil that is Akuma to get the W. And I want to see how these two styles clash in terms of like their practice. TS, man of the Battle Lounge, and Jazzy, just a ranked demon continuously. Who will succeed? Again, player-to-player matchup. I also want to see how they deal with the fireballs. And we watched like Bancha and the Kawano fight. We saw how Bancha was able to like perfect pair the fireballs and get nice and close with the medium range, the stay Fierce range, and navigate the projectiles. I want to see how that's locked down.
Right, it's going to be a very intense matchup. I feel like Akuma can be a very aggressive character, obviously, but faced off against the mirror match, it's like, how do you approach somebody who might have the same game plan, right? But luckily enough, we get to find out here in Street Fighter League a bunch of times over. Very aggressive start thus far for TS.
Perfect interruption over the overhead. Also with the corner, protect up with the throw. Like that break every so often, put that out. Even if they don't go for DP, like you're gonna put hesitation on them. Dive, kick, sweep for the Oki, go for the throw. No! He tried to go for the throw, but the ODDP stopped him.
Excellent confirmed thus far in their corner, crouching heavy. Tatsu uppercut as well for the Oki. Very meaty overhead. Forward throw. Could try it again. Jazzy again. Yeah, he's been going for a lot of that. Your reactions are the things that kill you sometimes. The drive impact well assessed from Jazzy, knowing full well TS did not have enough life in him to absorb the hit. Now, with that in mind, Jazzy, what do you do here? Okay. Good anticipation for the normal, followed after the fireball. ODDP, get off me, TS. Trying to reclaim that space at a very hefty price. Forward medium. He's going to be whiffing. I like the fireball approach from the air. Jazzy gets a big confirm into the corner. Now, I say it's big because of the amount of control now he gets against TS, but very short-lived.
Okay, going to burn out, hit that level 1 to get it done. I thought it was going to be a bad situation because he had been spending a lot of bar for ODDP and then not having too much to be in the green, but he's able to strike back. That space trap though for Jazzy was next level. That stand fierce and the stand light kick right after. Here we go, overhead flow. Sweep, does get the grip right after. Again off the Oki, drive rush overhead. Another overhead with a reset. One more sequence, so you're more than dead with the bar at the bottom. Rotation here from the side of TS, trying to find anything, maybe an OD fireball for a knockdown, but it's a normal fireball to take him down. Jazzy, first game.
lot of reluctancy, a lot of fear coming in from TS, and I think Jazzy had taken full advantage of that. I think there's been a lot of the Luke shining from his gameplay of taking people by surprise with the overhead, the fast overhead coming out from the drive rush. And I say it's fast just in nature of the drive rush, not the normal itself. So TS, I think he's got to fix that going forward. Jazzy finds a way to interrupt. Oki gets a dash up twice, the back dash and anticipation of the throw. Good read against that to kind of neutralize the amount of pressure that Jazzy was putting on him, especially after that sweep.
Nice walk under. Dive kick. Good against fireballs. He's ready for it. Based on the first ODDP we have seen from Jazzy, and takes his life and his health. Stays off set point. TS acclimating on defense a little bit better. We see more perfect parries from him and less reluctance. I understand the reluctance because we've seen perfect parry in between these strings, but now he's going in. Maybe more throws as well will definitely help put that back. ODDP back and burnout. Face up drive reversal, minus 2, so you just take the walk-up throw.
You know, that was an instant fireball. That was a Jazzy with a slight error. He came out with a jump light immediately. Jump air fireball to be specific, excuse me.
For him to win, there's the air there with the jump medium. And you know, the more I watch the likes of Kawano and other Akuma players when they get the lead, the more I start to see Akuma might be able to play and burn out very well. Maybe not as much as Luke. You don't have the health to play with. You are a glass cannon still. But you have the crouching medium punch, you have the fireball, you have stand medium kick against drive rush. You still have the good tools. We saw his backing up, getting his W. Final game between the two. Let's see what happens. Drive rush jab again to take out the pressure. I go for the adamant flame. That's so reminiscent of a Luke player right there. Similar to Suppressor. So from the throw, we get the Tatsu right after, double dashes up. A lot of breaks for these throws. We might be seeing something different here. Here's the fireball, Udi fireball, trying to get the knockdown. The guillotine works out, but the back throw works out even better here. Jazzy has the corner pressure. And Jazzy make him waste that bar. That 4 knockdown combos? Jazzy's a technician. Oh, no trading.
Man, these guys are slugging. Wake up level 2? Full punish too. What a call out against Jazzy. All that aggression, paying so much money, only for you to get a dud and a lemon. Match point now for TS. Standing light kick to start things off as a great counter poke. Bring him back a couple of paces and set things off with the fireball. Immediately going for a drive rush immediately after too. Man! Counter pokes in safe. That wasn't real. Wait a minute.
Jazzy on the back foot so much that he's not even noticing. And backing off, it's kind of surprising. The bark switch, the sweep against the drive rush.
The forbidden art. That was from the Forbidden Scrolls, man.
That's small. We're not done yet. Drive rush, medium back heavy kick, the fireball, all charged up. Tatsu. Oh, he missed the medium Udi fireball. I did so much for the waste of bar.
Oh my god. That was way, way too close to coming from either end. Jazzy holding on by the skin of his teeth. Really, that was actually kind of a scary scenario. That could have brought TS all the way back because of that burnout scenario. Crouching heavy punch into the adamant fist, level 3. That's a great route for damage. Now what's the control going to be like? Are you going to sit back and hang? Are you going to go forward with drive rush? It's going to be fierce and adamant. A little bit of extra drive gauge to kind of go with it too. Bam, bam.
Drive rush overhead. We're back to blessings. Overhead again, the double blessings, and it's not even Sunday. Fireball DP level 3, it's all he needed to have. Jazzy with the overheads again. And maybe you're so worried about crouching medium kick. You're so worried about other options, and he sniffed out that defense. It's wild because I feel like TS had the game plan of staying aggressive, staying solid, but I don't know, as the minute that he walked back, the minute he showed that timidity, we saw a drive rush overhead again and again. Jazzy resorting back to what happened the previous game. He is loving it.
Now I guess we could safely say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like if you find an exploit against someone's defensive natures, then why not go for it again? That is... Oh, man. Yeah, hey, no, not like this. Not like this. That once the hands hit the face, you start to feel for him. That's one of the things that I really appreciate from a lot of these players is their active tenacity and also their adaptation. Like sometimes some players have it, sometimes the nerves get the best of them. I'd imagine like TS, it had to be the latter, right? And you can see him like he's trying to fuzzy block, right? He's trying to anticipate the highs and the lows, at least for that first instance. The second time around, it was much more difficult to decipher what was coming at him because at that range, he could still go for like a low, like a crouching short into like whatever conversion he wanted to from Yazzie, especially after a drive rush. So no one can really blame TS for something like that, but that's got to be something going forward to fix, right? That's got to be something he's got to anticipate for any type of character, like what he could do for the timing. Maybe he could find a way to like option select maybe a crouching light that'll possibly interrupt because of the startup on it. Like how much time do you actually have in between from going to drive rush and the startup of an overhead in comparison to like a drive rush and a crouching short, right? I think maybe being able to like crouching jab in a certain sequence, it's very hard to explain it in this amount of time. But I'm almost certain there are some ways to combat against the overhead approach.
We've seen it happen. We've seen players acclimate. You know, we've seen, as you said, crouching jab when you're close enough to delete that off the table, or at least attempt to put some difference on the table. But we do something different. It's Lily. This is what I wanted to see. Lily versus Akuma. I'm not the best Akuma. In fact, my Akuma's terrible. But even I can tell that this matchup don't feel good. Pick this guy. She's got an easy DP that has very sharp angle that deletes anything you want to do off the table continuously. If she stocks up, gets in against your fireballs. The command grabs do so much damage, and her crouch fierce outrages a lot of what you want to do. So you got to wait for that to whiff, and already doing so, she'll get the wind stocks up, and you're like, dang, there's so much variance that she can do. And then she runs her game plan continuously. Watching Daigo fight some of the Lily players out at Cream City, it even seemed like he didn't have a solid game plan against that character. Now, obviously, early days, it's hard to see this matchup continuously because there's not that many good Lily players. But whenever I see it happen, you see the Akuma players being like, I can't go to the air. And that's a big comfort thing for especially characters like players like Shuto. So like the ground game is what they have to dominate with. So that's what I want to see from Sako. What does he bring to the ground game? If you can't go to the air, your fireballs have to be a little bit closer. What else are you using? Fort Fierce, Stand Fierce, what ranges? For medium kick, we're using sweep maybe as well. But Hibiki, though, well practiced in all matchups. I mean, this man is a big grinder. If you watch his streams, he is playing continuously. Thousands of matches it feels like under his belt right now. There's a reason why he's out in the league, not just because his character pick, but because he's such a strong player overall. It really feels difficult to fight him compared to other Lily players because he understands the player to player when he can stock up, when he can go for Oki, more so than many other Lily players.
To kind of add on to that, Hibiki has had an ongoing streak against majority of the Kumas out in Japan, right? In fact, he's actually played off against Sako over at Topanga League, taking him down 3-1. Followed by that afterwards, in that same block for the C block, he faced off against Shuto and cleaned him out 3-0. All the way down to the qualification day, he's also taken down one of the best to do it. And we saw that performance from Kawano. Actually, he took down Kawano 3-2. I think it's safe to assume that Hibiki has this matchup down pat. It's really, the spotlight should be on Sakonoko currently. What is he gonna do to stop this major threat from Team Hiroshima Ikuza? We're going into the interview. Sakonoko, he's the one with the big loss coming into it. He really prepared for this game against Lily. He's looking to get his first win here. Hibiki, he talked about this before. We won the last episode and we're in a very good flow. I'll win here to keep it going. Here we go. Game one between Sakonoko and Hibiki. Command grab already off the drive rush. Look at the amount of damage he gets from the demon.
Recover in time to interrupt the drive rush. ODDP, Sako on the Akuma, and this is what we talked about. Fireball game off the table. Perfect carry on the wake up. It's a blue kind of day. Tatsu sweep, goes for the Oki, the throw right after. Equalize and held. Drive rush sweep. What is going on with the Akuma players? It must be a good button.
Something in the water. One of the big tools against the OG Condor Spire too, even when stocked up, being able to use the drive reversal early, very expensive, but still gets Lily off of you. The current drive exchange game, okay, I was gonna say, Hibiki is the one that comes out the winner because of now the drive gauge being burnt out from Sakonoko, forces him to make a drastic call out. Hibiki, in exchange, the full block and the full round.
Again, stocking up early. Also, the deficit of drive gauge definitely helped out. Okay, dive kick hits. It was stocked up. And that distance in interruption. Go for the medium stock up. We'll let it rip. Hits the OD against the 4 medium kick. Wild Horn burns himself out. But look at the bar at the bottom, all getting juiced up. And against this character, that is Akuma. It's almost death. It's one more touch. I was doing a command grab after the backdash. Still, prime position here for Hibiki.
Such a unique playstyle too, and the reactions are out of control. Hibiki had gone through so many fireball approaches from Sakonoko throughout the entirety of that game alone. And I think it's very interesting that he spends bar to charge up the Windstar. I think if anything, that allows you to be even more of a threat at in a safe way, being able to get that OD Windstar.
You like that? Get that up early so you can have a way against fireballs. Even the idea right now, Sako having to play the walk speed game right now. We don't see as many fireballs. It has to be close range now. He knows it, drive reversal, but benefit here for Hibiki. He's got more drive gauge to lead with. Sako with a dash up throw. Okay, the corner pressure, this is where you gotta make your money. This character with the demon flips, the drive rush, plus frame buttons, not so stubby anymore, and the lacking slack of defense on Lily. Trey, you'll take that. Keep her up in the corner, the DP can't leap for free.
Oh, we're starting to see the defense cracks against Hibiki. Not really willing to sit still. Or at least not being able to tech, excuse me.
So rush with the fireball, I like that. But so many sequences, you see the fireball. Perfect parry, trying to get the knockdown from the sweep, not gonna happen. Corner carry. Leg crushing medium punch into fireball, nothing significant.
Damn!
Jump back off the heavy kick. Ready and steady. Sakonoko. Tatsu level 1 to get it done. Ever optimal, even in the face of victory. This dude is wild. And I feel like now he's like, well, I'll take the deficit of drive gauge because I'll get aggressive right after to get the bar back in the green and build up the bar to get the W right after the have the drive rush conversion. Game point both players.
Let's get the command grab. Hibiki, are you going to charge the Windstar from back there? You definitely are. You saw the attempt, Hibiki trying to snipe out the Demon Raid, but it was just for the purpose of Sakonoko trying to get out of the corner. I think that's great, but now Hibiki sitting on 2 charges, already making his way through. 3 charges, excuse me. He's still got 1 left. Overhead does get blocked, and the immediate contention there from Hibiki. That wasn't a counter hit, so Sakonoko, I'd imagine, maybe tried to use that opportunity to jump out of the corner, perhaps. Caught the pre-jump frames. Damn, that is a very long-range heavy.
It's big difference here to see like a whip punish against Crouch Fierce. You know, you can whip punish that easier this season, but Hibiki's doing it super close, ending it. Oh no, drive impact right back. Doing the drive gauge and about to kill the character, level 3. No, level 2, I'm sorry. Again, these players know what's optimal, even in the face of victory this time. It's Hibiki get the W and riding the momentum continuously, and I think a little bit more aggressive instead of just going for a reset into neutral to stock up with the win. He's going in more continuously, using more of the OD gauge, closer to burnout, but doesn't care as long as he gets the W and putting more of the command grabs, putting more paws on the side of Sako. As you mentioned, he tried to jump outside the corner. He was kind of getting antsy, and Hibiki playing around that, sat him down, and takes the game.
Even Sakonoko here to put his hands up. He's like, man, I got washed. My bad, team. He straight up was like, I'm sorry, guys. I got washed. And like, it'd be like that in team tournaments, bro. Like, it's a different nature. Like, sure, they get a 2 out of 3 set, but it's so hard because, like, how many of the team members actually have that experience against Hibiki that would actually help Sakonoko, right? Because Sakonoko's already been in the face of this danger back in Topanga League. I will say, I think his initial read from game 1 had really gotten him further in game 2 and got him the win. Obviously, he got him a perfect and a very, very convincing second round, but I think it's one of those things like Hibiki really thrives on that momentum, and we saw a very similar sequence we saw in game 1. He was able to get the win stock, he landed the command grab, and it was pretty much over since that point. It was all the Hibiki show. He was hounding you down until you got into the corner, one way or another, and was going to be abusing you with either crouching heavy punches or backing away and charging even more win stocks, just in case you want to throw a fireball, or just in case you want to sit still, because that counter spire is so detrimental to a lot of players' gameplay. I think in totality of the roster of Street Fighter 6, the two characters that force you to not play Street Fighter are Zangief and Lily.
I gotta agree. Yeah, I gotta agree, especially if you're a Shoto. Not being able to operate in that match, see how difficult it is. But here it comes. Hikaru on the Aki against Kid, which is, I guess this is fine, you know. I believe the majority of the Aki players I talk to are chill in this matchup. They're fine fighting Kid. It's like 5-5, so we'll see what happens. What's on paper doesn't always happen on the screen. And Hikaru has given so many different looks with this character, taking her to new heights. Even before the patch had happened, he thought she was good. He thought she was like high mid, and now she's definitely got buffed in ways that allow her to have more extensions, offer combos, more damage access. With the driver reversal definitely helps her out, and the way that other characters have been nerfed definitely help her out in terms of existing as well. Hikaru just always with that momentum, always building up bar. Feels like he's never really in burnout, but Ryuki, bro, something about him after EWC and during EWC, I'm sorry, during EWC, his neutral has improved so much. Usually he just swing for the fence with stand fierce and sweep and things like that. Now it's a lot more calculated because he knows if he hits you, it's going to hurt. But now how he is able to use work out neutral just in general has been way more effective, way more confident.
I'll agree with that. I think there's a lot that goes into nerves when it comes to playing on a grand stage like EWC, and Ryuki actually had mentioned that in multiple interviews and also visibly through his body language from what we've seen. But being able to... His mic is muted. Okay. Ryuki being able to operate on his home turf, we get to see like the full potential that he gets to like show off. Side note, as we get the interviews coming out, Hikaru and Ryuki actually played off against each other during the main event on day 2 of Topanga League, and it went down to the wire. I think it was pretty back and forth up until the very end of it, but if you were to count the first 2 out of 3, actually technically the first 3 out of 5 as well, Hikaru had taken it down against Ryuki.
Okay.
Yeah, it ended 7-5, by the way.
7-5? Hikaru's favor?
Yeah, 7-5 in Hikaru's favor. Yeah.
Okay. Both these players have been buffed up since then. You know, both of them improving. Talk about Ryuki's improvement in terms of his neutral, his confidence, how he walked down Xiaohai. I believe he was the only person to take down Xiaohai during the entirety of EWC. So that says quite a bit. And I feel like that was kind of the evolution beyond just him fighting Punk. But Hikaru, though, man, he was a hit away from taking down Xiaohai. He could have changed. There's a multiverse where he could have taken that W and changed everything, where Xiaohai didn't become the one that is I am Xiaohai. But Hikaru will take that, will learn from that, and use this in this match. Anchor match. Now, Hikaru says, my team ordered me to get 40 points. I'll do my best. By his team, he was ordered to get that W, and he will do so.
Let's see if he can do it. Here we go, game 1. Oh, you thought you could press a button? Look at the damage, too. Get the double lash. An immediate snake step forward, and that was a counter hit. Ryuki thought he had time to press a button. We had the feint as well, being able to control the space with medium kick. This is the kind of pocket Hikaru wants to go at, but Ryuki, I like the audacity of running DP in reaction to the sinister step. Sinister slide.
You saw that from the Xiaohai. Tension, heavy. They don't set up the perfect parries there. Walks away, looking for his opportunity, trying to get the jump back fade away. Didn't work. Immediate kick is such a good button. +1 on block. A great poke tool, and even outside of drive rush, a good initiation button. First round. Interruption though. Corner carry. Instead of the wake up drive reversal, just a slide or wake up with level 1 instead. It's a throw. Throws that we go for against this character more often than not, so that's why we see level 1 in rebuttal. Or medium.
God, what a conversion as well. Good look too. Showing off that overhead is really, really great. Especially when you've been pretty much on the harassment with every sort of approach. Level 2. Set up. Does feint. Wake up super. Does find the mark. Ryuki out of the corner. How do you come back from this though? Hikaru, actually, you could be able to take it back. Up until this point, the counterplay from Hikaru is so fast. Now, you had mentioned this before. Hikaru had been doing a great job against a lot of the Ken players in general, but the one time he got stopped was from Xiaohai over at EWC. Again, Xiaohai was the one that eliminated Hikaru down to the very end, 5-4. So Ryuki might have taken a couple of pages, but Hikaru was the one that experienced the loss. So who knows who has gotten the better off of this matchup.
Okay, I like this from Ryuki. Back dashes, finds a crouching into punch, disjointed button, good against drive rush. So he has something for him. We've seen a lot of drive rush. He's going to utilize that button a little more often. I like this. Play a little more patient. That's kind of how Xiaohai was working against Hikaru. Like, he was like, I'm going to wait for you to get this, like, mid-range. I'm going to try to go for the punish. Too far out.
Oh, that doesn't work.
Bursts himself out.
Lash from further out, tempting with the slide just in case a fireball comes out. That's exactly why he's doing it, right? He could go into the Venomous Fang if need be, if a fireball is there, but it's still the OD version that was so smart from Ryuki. As soon as he got it, he let it rip, knowing that it was fast enough to stop Hikaru from the Dirty Bubble as well. Speaking of Dirty Bubble, OD version to get the approach, the forward throw. What do you do to set up another bubble? Drive rush again. Hikaru spending so much of that gauge just to harass Ryuki with. Oh, reset into overhead.
Medium will work better there. Again, kicks the burnout right after it. A plus range. Good starter. This is a really good situation here. Hikaru has him up in the corner. Poison's applied. Damage is building up, racking up. And the more he can not spin the bar at the bottom, the better. Finds the overhead. I have to expend level 1. He doesn't need to. He doesn't need to. Bars all juiced up, and now that means that's perfect. Level 3 for this round.
He even had more in the tank to do another roundhouse, go into the Sinister Slide, into Venomous Fang if he wanted to end it. There's so much damage on the table for this character. It's insane. Oh, speaking of so much damage, level 3. Changing up her hairstyle, lighting that thing on fire. Not going to be burnt out just yet, but maybe OD Fireball. Could possibly do it.
Oh, delay. Crossing medium punch with OD Fireball across the TP. Vampires, there's a drive gauge all gone. Now it's a health turn, depending on what Ryuki does right here. Hikaru, desperate comeback. It's one more fireball. Maybe waiting for Cruel Fate, possibly, but it doesn't matter. OD Fireball, drive rush dash up, stand fierce, whatever it may have been right after, would have killed after that. Ryuki, tying things up.
So I do like the out-of-the-gate strategy that Hikaru kind of like implements, but when it comes to the defensive end of being in burnout, he's gotten a little bit too predictable, and a little bit too, I want to say complacent with throwing out the bubble and then moving forward upon offense. Ryuki has blown that up twice now. That's fine. That was the meatiest crouching heavy kick after the drive rush imaginable. Set up the punt. Oh, never mind, I'm sorry.
Goes after that DP, finds a stand fierce, Tatsu DP ender again. Driver's throw. Oh my god, he is routing it back. The defense like OD Fireball just to get some space with this place, plus frame. Ryuki really slowing this down and not kind of overextending and getting punished for it. We've seen crouching jab eliminate his drive rush. Now you see him breaking every so often, but the hit confirmed in the level 1 Hikaru Classic.
I mean, that was a guaranteed punish, right? That was actually so smart from Hikaru to spend that meter to get the damage and establish himself. The spacing between the two characters because of her toolkit. Really smart. And I like that. Going for the OD bubble, not as risky. The recovery is going to be a little bit better, so that was a good call out. Oh, you thought you could play footsies? That is a spacing trap, brother. All the way from outer space. OD uppercut. You know what? We don't believe in space, says Ken.
One canceled, don't throw it. That's gonna be a throw, but it's eliminating that drive gauge off the table. Falls the fireball, drive rush, stand fierce, yes sir. Dragon Lash throw right after. Passing up any bar. Reversal. A bar A button. Crouching light punch. Ooh. Cross got DP. Gets the cross up button.
Not yet. Good aggression. A way to keep it on too. Ryuki continuously applying the pressure afterwards. I like that. All tied up here. Oh, you tried to press a button on the way through. Maybe it was a missed input for potentially an uppercut.
The way. We'll start here for Hikaru. Jump in. Trade on the fireball. Hikaru now with the OD fireball. Drive rush follow right after. Of course, off the medium.
He's so
Double
sick.
2.
This kid is unimaginably cool. Like, he is so on point with some of these confirms. Mid-air, across the screen, etc. Counter hit. That could have been huge.
Commit. Oh,
no
the
way you
punish
punish counter that.
Oh, he's so ready.
Oh my god, I'm out of here. That was disgusting. What a call out. And you're in the corner?
Man's in burnout too as well, looking for that reversal match. That's him doing. You better kill him before he gets the bar back at the bottom. Oh, back throw. Tumbleweed effect. No anti-air. Oh. No TP, bitches.
That hurts. It's tough to call, man. Like, you have to do it a little bit faster, or at least sooner than you think, because of the hitbox on jump fierce. That reduces your jump angle so much faster than you think. And it catches a lot of folks off guard, man. It's a very, very potent jump in normal and a very interesting angle too. So that was a good call out from Hikaru, albeit a little bit risky, but that worked out.
That was this game. The win that was so cool. You can't clip that now if you lose, brother. But man, Hikaru, going back to how he pilots his character, he is so ready for every situation. Off of OD Fireball, he had the drive rush, OD Fireball, medium into level 2 for the pick. I didn't know that even worked. Every time I watch him play, I learn something new about this character. And this is the product of someone practicing for, like as he said, 10 hours per day, always thinking about Street Fighter. He knows his character in and out. It's not Aki is cool. Hikaru is cool. This guy is so on form.
I think from both ends, to be fair. Seeing how close it is in the set and seeing how close it is currently with the score, I think it's safe to say that Ryuki is showing off certain things that we haven't seen done in the matchup before. I have not seen anybody punish the lash from that far with run DP effort. Ryuki is really pushing the envelope forward with Ken in the Aki matchup in particular, which is kind of unique because who else are you training for, right? Who else is going to bring you this matchup? No one else except Hikaru. So him pushing the envelope and showing off some of these punishes and some of these unique situations is really inspiring or inspirational, but also it shows that people in this team are so, like, very much so thinking outside of the box. And it's very, very enlightening to see. It's so cool. When he hit that, the run DP to level 3, I was about to leave my room. I was gonna say, this isn't real. This is a dream.
Might be a nightmare depending on what happens here for Hikaru, but Hikaru was able to bring that back into the game and really tied things up. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. My bad. Hikaru has 2 games on his side of things. We need one more. See what happens though. I'm expecting a tie. I'm expecting the adjustments to happen. Beautiful interruption gets the drive rush though off the medium. Drive rush. The heavy goes to the cool thing. He tried to swing and he knew it. Hikaru, just the structuring of his normal structuring of the sequencing, calling out these buttons every so often. Now in burnout, Baron has to burn out with the mediums. Steak kicks, gets the medium lash to pick up right after it. The fireball. Drive impact. That's gonna be bad. Puts on the poison for the extra damage. Still have more in the tank. No, wait, what? You know what? Round 2. Every time I see him, bro. Every combo.
I mean, that counts. You let the poison tick down, you still get the back throw. It's still enough damage because it's not scaled. But I gotta say, do you like original recipe or extra crispy? Because this guy got cooked. Hella cooked. Ryuki, what's gonna be the rebuttal?
The minute he backdash, he gets checked the challenge. He's so ready to read the offensive time. Now gets the back throw. Back to the corner you go.
Get off of me. You'll set it on fire. Ryuki, what do you do out of the corner? You saw The slight counter poke there from Hikaru. Not ready for the whiff punish is Ryuki. Now in an awkward space against Hikaru, because Hikaru could actually spend some of the drive gauge to be aggressive, but I like that Ryuki spending gauge of his own just to cause that burnout. What do you do as Hikaru now? You do have a level 3. A single hit confirming a level 3 can actually be so good, but Ryuki instead has to spend it for himself. We're going into still potential final game for Hikaru. One more round for Ryuki to stay alive.
Hikaru's probably okay with this. You know, you spent all that level 3 for victory. You might get level 2 in this match if you're lucky, but hey, rather deal with that than level 3 into a W instead of Ryuki. You're able to start it off ODDP after the perfect parry. I like that. Nicely close to deal with that situation. Oh, he's running over the overhead. He's got hit with that once, and he acclimated. He said, I'm going to make sure that never happens to me. I'm going to dump out the damage and take your drive gauge. Fireball, drive rush, forward heavy kick instead. Can't get kicks half the whole parry. Get the bar up. Freeze up with the command grab. He saw the parry.
You're dead. You're absolutely dead. That's all she wrote. Hikaru, perfect calculation. Afterwards, Ryuki, did you see the amount of damage that he took from the roundhouse barrage from Hikaru? That is mad calculated. You know what's crazy? Forward roundhouse, you're plus after that. Doing it again is a lot in terms of startup. Stealing your turn in that fashion and doing that much damage to the drive gauge is so detrimental to the person. He did double forward roundhouse, stand roundhouse, cancel into the sinister slide, command grab in case the parry came out. And it was a punish counter. Not just the burnout, but the damage on top with command grab punish counter is insane. Hikaru is next level. Both these cats, absolutely next level between the back and forth. But it is indeed the big 40 baller for the side of Hiroshima Team Iguza. Well played all around, man.
Very, very well played. Going back to Hikaru, like how he's playing was like he saw the parry. He's like, I'm gonna grab that up next time I see it. He saw the overhead before. Next time, I'm gonna interrupt it and punish it with the super, leading into a burnout scenario right after. He sets himself up for success continuously, whether it be putting people in burnout, interrupting their drive rush. We even saw Ryuki backdash to establish some space to maybe DP, he tries to jump out or crush a medium kick or whatever it may be. You saw the dash up right after to chase him down, following his rhythm from Hikaru, getting the drive rush follow up right after to get some damage and disallowing any sort of like momentum back in the hands of Ryuki. He's reading the defensive timings, the situational stuff. If he sees it, it only happens to him once. It feels like it only happens to him once. Now, Ryuki did have some good moments. He tried to go for the, he missed the Dragon Lash against the Light Lash from Hikaru and went for Run DP instead. Like that was like the new adjustment, but it wasn't enough. It felt like too much defense was getting blown up and too much on the back foot of Ryuki. Man, Hikaru, bro, that time, that grind, it pays off.
I mean, that's too much of a grind for me, brother. He literally, he's talked about this before on the stage at EWC. He thinks about this game 24/7 if he can, while he's awake, I should say. Not 24/7, but it's definitely while he's awake. He is in the lab all the time. And this kid, I don't even know, what, he's like 17? He doesn't have like the full adult responsibilities. That's up to my knowledge, but who knows? He is doing nothing but breathing Street Fighter 6. He is living nothing but Street Fighter 6. And it shows, man. Like his grind for the game and his passion for the game and his unique approach to it, also with this character, is totally worth it. Right? I think there's only a handful of players that can really make their character shine. And what some would say are kind of like, you know, some would kind of like dismiss these characters immediately. Some would say earlier on that they were kind of like boring to watch or whatever. It didn't really interest. That's why we even had these character specialists in the first place. It's like, all right, well, you could only have the advantage for so long of not, of players not knowing the matchup. But both Hikaru and Hibiki have like transcended beyond that. Right? As soon as that phase was over, he's like, all right, well, I know how to adapt to any sort of circumstance. And these guys are hunting for points. Man, I gotta call these guys the 2H's, the Hunter group, to be honest with you. The Hunter from Hiroshima Team Iguza, it just makes sense. They have their esports Hunter license right now.
Well earned. Listen, if you're any other team right now, it's time to take a trip to the EU and play broski, because that's the only practice you are going to get when it comes to Aki on that level, bro. At this point, you have to have the proper idea. It's either you fight one of these two Aki players, or you're just lost in the sauce right there. Not losing any points out here is Team Hiroshima, Team Itsuka. Again, this team located as one of the strongest teams. Let's go to the interview real quick. Aqua said, so happy. There aren't many teams that are winning the home game. Jazzy said, thought TS was more technical than me, so I fought with spirit. So he fought with Corazon from his heart. And Hibiki says, it was a good game. We'll keep our spirits up until the playoffs.
And it makes a lot of sense just looking back at both the S Division and the F Division. It's a really great analysis coming from the side of Aqua. And Aqua's done a lot for the league in regards to breaking down a lot of the stats, the wins, the replays, and also like some of the analysis post matches between like the players and whatnot. He's really kept it all together. So he's been fully fledged with Street Fighter League, and also has been a big co-streamer along with it. Now the fact that he's in the team again is a really, really big deal, and I love being able to see him as the captain, because he can play all he wants, but I think him being in the assessment seat of kind of like picking and choosing where the players go is just as strong, if not stronger. But the rest of the team, again, Jazzy coming through, Hibiki coming through, Hikaru as well. It's cool to see how ecstatic they are getting the big W from the home side. Yeah, and again, this is the first time we've seen, I think, the home team actually get a full 40 ball. Is this our first? No, it's not our first one of the league, but it is indeed the first one for Division F.
Which is wild to think, considering, like, you'd think that the home would be such a big advantage for a lot of the other players, but that goes to show that people have ideas when it comes to the away side. But here, I don't even think home and away would have mattered that much. I'd maybe adjust a little bit, but overall, Hiroshima Team Itsuka just playing out of their absolute minds right now in terms of how every single player is playing. And again, these character specialists, as you mentioned, are not relying upon my character's new, or it's different, we don't get that practice. They're ideating above it. It's keeping the drive gauge, it's staying solid in bad situations. I mean, hell, you have two characters that don't do good on defense, and both players in the corner did fantastic. Both Lily and Aki, who Aki does have better defense in the corner, is Odie sniffs her slide to get out. But overall, don't have a DP. We're doing fine. We didn't really see that much wake-up drive reversal from either player. We didn't see that much panic in the corner. In fact, they're making their opponents panic. So this is a matter of these players playing fantastically, understanding their character, and believing in situations, and reading the defensive habits of their opponents, and countering in kind. 40 points, Team Itsuka. Can you believe it? Last season, they were getting up there. They were getting a lot better. Previous seasons, they were the underdogs through and through. But now, top tier out here, and I'm talking about the talent in the team and the points, not just the characters at all. Not the characters at all.
Yeah, totally remade and totally renovated. I gotta say, they're reinvigorated with their spirit, getting that 40 bomber. And again, man, Hikaru, just a little touch up. He didn't even have to show off his defensive prowess, man. He just took it like a champ. He didn't have to do any OD snake step to get out of the corner. He wasn't susceptible to that at all. So that's very impressive, man. That's just the beginning, the very beginning of the Hunter x Hunter group. I gotta say, man, Hibiki, Hikaru, we're all big fans over in the West Side, being able to watch these guys play just based off of the character selection alone. With that in mind, though, FAV Gaming, they got a lot to catch up to. Currently on the board, I believe, with 10 points. That is a tough pill to swallow, considering their previous record and their previous history in the realm of Street Fighter League Japan. And if you guys want to check that out extensively for yourself, always be sure to check out Capcom_esports, where they've been throwing down, or not throwing down, excuse me. They have been retweeting a lot of the different organizations' tweets and some of the videos that have been going down, and also some of the big advertisements that are a part of the journey here at Street Fighter League Japan. Street Fighter Duel is taking up all my money, and for very good reason, man. Street Fighter 6 has their first collab with Street Fighter Duel, including Luke. I actually get to throw Sandblast towards everybody's face from the Shadowloo organization. I get to do it at every single event going forward. That's going to be pretty sick. I want to see if it cuts to, if he does the critical art, if he actually does the Pale Rider, and if it actually just, like, if he grabs the opponent and it just stuns them. I want to see if that works because we need more CC in this game. We need more crowd control in Street Fighter Duel. I need to take advantage of so many different like bosses in the story. If he's a top tier unit, I'm spending hella cash to get him 5-starred out. I'm not even kidding. I need that crowd control with my synergized teams, please. Because my teams are struggling right now. It's all DPS. All I have is DPS.
All DPS? No defense?
Don't need it. Don't need it. If I could shred through armor, yeah, dude, like I have Evil Ryu right now. He just shreds through everybody. I have maxed out Evil Ryu. I also have Bison. Okay, to be fair, I have one tank. I have Bison.
Okay.
Right? I have maxed out Bison. He keeps reviving from the dead. Like, that's totally fine.
I need to get back and do my dailies, get back in the game as well. Y'all can get back in the game too as well. Make sure you do your dailies too for Street Fighter League Duel. And we're going to have more Street Fighter League coming up. People, it's CAG Osaka versus Crazy Raccoon. After this break, grab some stacks and come right back because more league action will be coming right at you.
Capcom e スポーツ公式 X および各チームの投稿をご確認ください。たくさんのご応募お待ちしております。お知らせは以上です。さあこの後は試合準備のため休憩に入らせていただきます。休憩の後マッチ3はクレイジーラクーン対 CAG 大阪の模様をお届けしてまいります。再開は21時14分頃を予定しておりますので、それまでは、一旦失礼いたします。
challenger.
Here comes a new challenger! Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics!
残るんじゃない？
サルっぽく見えるがどうだ？いや逆にそう伸ばしたら終わってましたね。このドットの数の5から
全然ある。
ここの恐怖の1ドット数の5。
お、でかい。
ラッシュしちゃってる。あらら怖いよ。ついさ。ラッシュ。
あらら
いいわ。
はい、
これ。マジか。あれかーい。
これは9センス。
ラウンドが見えている。怖い状況。
うまい。
はいはいはい
いったな。
はい
完全は余裕だな。
はいグキー。
大丈夫でしょ。
勝負の100機。前やるってことですね。
1ラウンド
一試合
目、
目そう1試合目取ったのがやばかったね。
あれで相当日和ましたね、向こう。
アウェーで30点は本当にみんなありがとうとしか言いようがないです。ありがとうございます。
完璧でしたね。
はい。
Weekly Street Fighter League Japan CAG Osaka Go Ichi
ジャンプがふわっとしてるのがあるんで、おおここはダッシュにしてる。なるほど伸ばすんだ。強攻撃は好き。ダッシュ。おおテンション。ここを取ればマッチポイントですが、ジャストバリー割り込み。ここは一瞬インパクト。よーそれ見てるのか。早すぎる。序盤でダメージを取れたのはかなり久々。 ジャンプダブルジャンプこれはねやりたいみんなやりたいと思ってます。ちなみにマンチャ
削りを狙う
いいソリッドマンチャですね。
SA2 は5
で
一も見てるぞ。
これはダメなのか
ずれない。
きたー差し込んだー。
Back with more league action out here on the official restreams. It's time to finish the fight. The last teams to go at it are going to be Crazy Raccoon versus CHE Osaka. Let's take a look at the team. Starting off, Craziest Raccoons in the business. The judge, the jury, the executioner, Kamaban-chan, looking to land all the big hits with Akuma and possibly Luke. The Akuma looking very strong out here. It is the one loved, backed by all fighting games, Kazunoko, who is a master of mini and a master of Street Fighter 6 with the Kami. He picks the skies, he will delete your health. Yasura, Shuto, the Demon Flip master himself on the Akuma. And this guy is one to behold when putting on the pressure. Last but definitely not least, he made the pack with the right devil. It's the Wind Devil. It's Dogura leading the charge with that Bison, the Cycle Power infused team right here. Crazy Raccoon, a team I feel like could join with many players from other areas to amass a very strong component. We'll see if they can work out against CHE Osaka.
It's so wild to see the leader of Crazy Raccoon as a former member of this team coming up right here, the home team with their full introduction. Cyclops Athlete Gaming Osaka. This composition is absolutely wild because these guys are legends in their own right. They're of the age group where they've played countless fighting games and have had their own accolades individually in each and every one of them. Starting things off, let's see who our first member is. The Eternal Ace, Urio. And it fits him so well because this man is such a trendsetter, especially in all the games that he's played in the past. We're talking about now, we have the unlimited Dragon Dance coming in from Eita with a very, very strong and grounded Shoto play. Could be a little bit nutty at times, but one thing's for certain is that the theoretical value is never of certainty because we still don't know what that means. It's Fenrich coming up to bat for COG Osaka, all led by their leader extraordinaire. It is Goichi with some of the best defense in the business. Now, we talk about this total package, this team composition. It's hard to really anticipate who's going to be thrown in what direction coming in from the home team, right?
Yeah, it's kind of why we saw Uriel on the chain, which I don't think anyone expected. Last time I saw him on stream, he does have the Chun-Li. But the fact that they have a rotation of characters that you don't expect, or when certain players are going to come out, it's hard to have an idea of how to fight the team. Plus, they're on the home side, they'll give them the advantage. But here's the order for Crazy Raccoon. Bison, Akuma, Akuma. Now, this is going to be, no matter how you slice it, no matter how you put it, a good squad in terms of the characters. What do you think about the actual positioning, though? Bison up first, considering there is a Kami on the other side for Osaka.
This looks like a Street Fighter duel composition. If I'm being real honest. Bison in the front, two different types of Akuma in the back. That's what it looks like to me. But in terms of the player's value, right? We haven't really seen Dogura play yet. This is gonna be his first debut match over at Street Fighter League Japan 4, specifically for Street Fighter 6 Season 2 with his Bison. Going in with Bonchan second seems like a secure point getter, right? I think like overall he's super solid. Shuto in the back is a very interesting kind of push for, although he went 2 games straight against Ryuki. I'm not too sure how he does in regards to a 3 out of 5 scenario, right? A lot of that craziness when it comes to him revolving around like the demon raids, that can get shut down if the player has already been aware of it. Mind you, it's already been, what, a day thus far? I think people are well aware of the strategies that are going to be implemented. Now, going into this, Goichi with that Kami pick. How do you feel about this? No Chun-Li on the table. This is Kami time.
I agree with that on paper. I think it's a good option. I mean, Kami probably gives the biggest issues to Bison, the dive kicks. You have to be so ready for it. You know, it's not the worst thing in the world for Bison. It's just it's an unfortunate time to have to hold that charge while she's just jumping continuously, empty lows and throws and all that good stuff. And of course, she puts you up in the corner, strike though continuously. If you rely upon tap parry, just toss you out. So in terms of going toe-to-toe in the neutral, she's good about that as well. And it's continuous Oki off the spiral arrow off of most exchanges. So Kami does well. I think she does well in the matchup. But how good is this Kami though? I don't think I've seen Kami from Goichi. He's a man of rotating characters. He also understands how to play Akuma, as you mentioned, Chun-Li. But how good is this Kami? I don't think I've seen Kami from him that much, if at all. I'm going to be real. I don't think I've seen Kami at all from him.
I thought he was doing that recreationally. I didn't think he'd be out here doing Kami out in the streets like that for Street Fighter League. I feel like that's illegal. But the last stream I caught from him, I'll admit, I actually had him on the side. And I wasn't like listening to it like all the way through, but I did see him like dabble with Kami. I just don't know how much extensive practice he's had with this character. Now, if he finds success with this character, I don't know what that means to the people in the streets, where it's like, man, Goichi just picks up Kami and he takes down people like Dogura. I don't know what that says. But in all fairness, Goichi's mad good. Like Goichi can pick up, like you said, he can pick up any character he so pleases, and if he figures out the inner workings of the character, on paper, I think he understands like what to do in specific matchups and what to look for and how to utilize the characters tool that he's playing to go against that wave or go against that grain of what the player wants to do. So we'll see, man. In terms of the interview, Dogura thought he read it right. I thought that's actually a far-fetched read, if you ask me.
I don't know about that one, though,
I don't know.
I don't know, man. He was like, yeah, man, he's going to play Kami for his team, for his Street Fighter League. Is a very big toss-up, right? Like, it's crazy. Like, you may know how to play the character, but you're playing someone who has hardline Bison this entire time, right? Since the character has dropped. Dogura also, we call him the psychic one, so maybe he is a little bit psychic in terms of dealing with what the match is going to be. But also, when he chooses to press, it is so hard to read. You see counters continuously coming through from him because he just understands when to press his crouching medium punch, 6-frame, the quicker buttons, when to stop your pressure. And just to be able to apply the bomb so continuously, it feels like a continuous rotation from him because he's always getting his hits off and everything leads into something good for him. He understands how Bison plays. He's been playing the character for a long time. He understands how to be on defense. So he's understood how bad it is when you do have to fight Kami. Even last game, Street Fighter 5, where it wasn't that good out there either. He understands when to hold back, when to put pressure on, when to drive reversal, as he did with V reversal. So I think he'll be just fine in this matchup. Goichi even says himself, man, I played the same team last year, but now I'm pretty nervous about playing Kami, but I'll do my best. I wonder if Goichi is ready, and if it comes down to it, does he switch to the Akuma if things get bad? I don't want to prophesize no demise. We'll see how it rocks out. First game between the two. Let's go.
Moment of truth here. Even though it's only the first game, the switch off to Cammy, is it worth it for someone like Goichi? To drop a character he's been so proficient with, at least from some of his streams and the way he's been performing with Chun-Li. Could Cammy be like the change of pace that he's been looking for, especially with the way the meta's developed, right? I think having a Cammy as a side character in response to like how you want to play Chun-Li is pretty good, but talking about it right now, getting the first startup, we do get the mine. That was actually pretty genius! How often have you seen that, by the way? Using the spin knuckles and vulnerability to fireballs to get past the cycle mine, that was actually kind of genius.
Talk about when to interact. Ice players are getting better and better about when the mine forces you to do something. They bust up the cross flames. Perfect parry on the Stand Fierce. Spiral Arrow DP right after it. That defense coming to play. We talk about Goichi being an iron wall on defense. Air to air. Look at that. The follow-up.
Oh, we'll take that trade. We'll take that trade 100 times out of 100. That was beautiful. That was intentional too. That was not a dive kick. That was an intentional jump roundhouse from Goichi.
Range on that big hitbox. Nice trying to punish the Stand Fierce, but it's not really working out. No back throw, normal throw, but burnout though. How about Bison finds the overhead. Now can we find some bombs? I want to see what the adjustments are in terms of like the bomb situation, like what we're gonna do against Spin Knuckle. Perfect parry against that possibly. Interrupt with a crouching medium kick if he's able to apply it right now. Goichi hasn't done anything but get hit with the OD. Level 1 though. So that's Stand Fierce, or Drive Impact I should say. Excuse me.
Reaction from Goichi, by the way. His defense is bar none one of the toughest to crack. Forward throw now. What do you do to apply the pressure? I do like that again. Why not go for a third? Damn. He checked his own boy like that? Level 3 incoming? No way. No
Crack
way.
in the neck.
This guy, Goichi, has it all figured out. And look at Dogura. Dogura is slumped right now. He was actually sitting back in his chair like, man, before he actually started talking to his teammates, he was just... It was looking kind of sus. He was kind of upset.
Look at the eye roll. That was definitely an eye roll, bro. He was like, this guy just picked up Cammy and just pieced me up. But again, the defense is so good. And look at how he was able to deal with like any of the double stops and stuff like that. The air-to-air jump medium and the OD dive kick. Goichi has it on lock. Even at burnout, he stayed solid. And he was in range to whip punish, or at least have the idea to whip punish against Stand Fierce. He knows what to do. He knows how to utilize the walk speed, back and forth, to at least initiate whip punishes, to poke. How's playing amazing defense up in burnout too as well. Like we didn't really see Drive Impact on the side of Dogura until that tried to happen and he reacted with level 1. And then in the corner, Drive Impact got done and there was no reaction here from Dogura. Dogura looking a little bit lost. It's not even like the aerial approach. Like even Dogura spacing out the scissor kick is what you should do. We haven't seen like stand light kick into the usual punish counter follow up right after. That doesn't really happen. Like Dogura's not doing too bad on the ground. It's just that Goichi is an impenetrable wall and makes the most out of any situation that occurs to him or it happens around him.
I agree with that. I think, there's a lot that Dogura needs to do to kind of throw Goichi off guard with some very much so like high risk, medium size reward type maneuvers. But even like in burnout, you saw Goichi going for like one of the main tactics that kind of throws a lot of Bisons off guard. Neutral jumping goes a long way against a character like Bison because of his forward moving, not only just his normals, but like forward moving specials. Like people like to take advantage of scissor kicks when upon release of Bison, one of the first things that came to mind was like how cheap is scissor kick? How often can I abuse this special move? One of the biggest things you can't do against it is like from certain ranges is just neutral jump that. And I know like once you start to see that, people are like, all right, well, let me move on forward with Hell Attack. Goichi was very mindful of that spacing. Like that's old patented strats against Bison from previous iterations before, right? So there has to be something outside the box that Dogura has to present to force Goichi to flinch on defense. And that is a huge statement. That is a huge mountain to climb. That's essentially Everest.
Yeah. especially against someone that has been on your team, who you have strategized with. And Dogra out here was like, I guess expecting the Cammy, but how much were you really expecting this level of Cammy? Like this playstyle with this Cammy, usually Cammy's a lot more aggressive. They take the skies continuously. It hasn't been that much unless you see something in the air right there. You see it air to air, but it's been grounded, very defensive gameplay. Or we'll just side switch with it, gets the hooligan low right after. Oh man, Goichi's on one. Here we go though. Too far for the throw. Punish counter. Drive reversal. Take that away.
Dash him right in the face of Dogura too. I love that, the immediate reaction and immediate parry against the heavy punch. I think Dogura's only gone to that well like 2 times over thus far, maybe 3.
That worked out. Big hits, trying to get the stand fierce it looked like. Maybe the overhead, but still, you're dead. Goichi with the rebuttal immediately. I just cannot get a hold on the timings to interrupt him. Dogura has not found, it feels like any sequence, like maybe he gets like a bomb off or 2, but reversal buttons, oh, the buffer, the sweep, the hard knockdown off the feet. Whip punish, goading him to try to out shimmy with the crouching medium kick. Bro, oh, he at least gets the throw, but not a back throw.
What's the pressure sequencing going to be like for Goichi? Does try to use a drive impact. Dogura completely out of there with a forward jump. And right back into the corner. Perfect parry yet again. You might be done. What? He's going to reserve the meter. Goichi might have thought that he wasn't going to be enough, especially with the drive gauge afterwards.
Cammy wins.
And the pop-off, Goichi taking down Dogura. He said he was nervous, but how many times have we seen in the league someone say they're nervous about a matchup and then clean up when they're put through the paces? How, the perfect parries on stand fierce? Like, that button's not even being able to be established. If you're a Bison player, you hate to see that. Not being able to put the plus frames, the +1 on with the stand fierce, or get a punish counter, disallowing that, which Cammy can do because she has good walk speed, but even more so, the player looking out for that perfect parry continuously. And then into Oki with Spiral Arrow, Goichi already prepared with the character and how to play against Bison. This guy
tough, man.
just picked up Cammy. Like, what the heck? Just picked up the character.
That's really tough. And there wasn't anything wild about his gameplay. There are plenty of moments where he would just stare down Dogura and anticipate, establish himself a very well-grounded whiff punish game. I think that alone was very intimidating against Dogura. And we talk about the perfect parries against the Fierce. Listen, man, that's a 19-frame startup move. That is a very long time for Goichi to react. And we talk about some of the best in the business when it comes to defense. When it comes to like the definition of defense, you'll find Goichi's picture in that dictionary. He is absurdly strong in that regard. So him going for the parry against the Fierces is not too out of the ordinary. It is quite a spectacle because as commentators, as a player, and even like a fan, we'll be like, damn, that was actually insane. Fact of the matter is, for someone like Goichi, it was a Tuesday.
Oh, it was Tuesday here for Bison. Moving on, Uriel, Jamie again. Wow. Again, last time I watched him stream, he was on the Chun-Li, and I was like, are you going to play Chun-Li again? He said, yes, I will play some more Chun-Li during Street Fighter League. But then you get down to business, you see the characters that you have to fight, and it's back with Jamie. This cannot be that fun of a matchup. You know what? You play more Jamie than me. Have you played Jamie recently against Akuma at all?
I have not. I've had the luxury of going to a local in SoCal and watched a Jamie play against like a handful of different Akumas, but at a very basic level. In terms of like high level, I think I would probably look to maybe Flakido from SoCal and watch his CFNs and see how he does against Akuma players. I think the biggest hurdle ever is getting a Jamie player to level 2. To level 2 status. Having level 1 is a pretty great ideal situation for Jamie players because having dive kick is a very, very big tool against the fireballs, albeit it's very fast to kind of react to that. I love having access to the target combos too on hit or block, being able to go through like a series of lights and to establish your either spacing trap or longer confirms to go into whatever combo sequence that you want. I think it's really potent. Level 2 is where the party really starts for Jamie players, being able to traverse past the fireballs with Bakai. I think that's a really, really big deal. But the damage output that Jamie gets is going to be so detrimental to Akuma that I feel like Akuma might eventually be on the back foot once Jamie hits that level 4 and also into like level or SA gauge level 3 status or even SA gauge level 2 status, because Jamie can go into really big burnout string sequences and also on hit confirm into really big damage scenarios too. So it's hard. I think it's a very interesting dynamic between the two, but it's very reliant on Jamie getting that first drink, which is much easier nowadays, to be fair.
Definitely is now open throws, especially up in the corner, to get the drink. It's just hard when you have such impressive characters that disallow that from happening continuously. And someone like Bonchan, who has such good ground game, like with the fireballs, the walk speed that Akuma presents, and his own good ground game as well, it might be hard to stock up or just even establish a good neutral overall. I also want to see what happens with the anti-air. You know, the aero DP that Jamie has isn't really the best, considering, and the flip over could just deny that DP from happening, the ODDP also as well, if he tries to go for an anti-air off that. So I'm wondering, will it be like crouch fierce instead? Will it be the air-to-air instead, or jump back jab to delete some of the demon rate off the approach? We don't really see Bonchan go for it that often, but it may happen here if the matchup presents itself. Not a matchup I get to see continuously. We don't get to see that many Jamie players out here. Bonchan said, I did see his play, so I'm welcome. Uriel says, Goichi started out well, so I want to follow him. I haven't played Bonchan this much in tournaments. I'm pretty excited. So they're both excited to face off each other. But again, Bonchan, how much time do you get to play off against a Jamie player of a high-level caliber, unless you go to the States like Tokido, or the other few like Naru, who is out there if he's not playing Ryu? Not that many opportunities. We'll see if he's prepared for this second match.
I don't know if you guys got a glimpse of that, but I love the cup that Bonchan just sipped out. I forgot where it's from, but it's pretty cool. Anyways, game 1. Catching the punish counter on the jump. That was that had to be an accidental input from Bonchan just off that jump, but he wasn't too happy about that either way. Yeah, we talk about the spacing traps being established already. Uriel being able to fully utilize that with someone like Jamie much more effectively. This is spacing trap the game. That's the character. Oh, you're hella dope. GG's.
Next round. Talking about how we're going to see something against the Demon Raid. You saw go to the air with an OD dive kick. Fall up right after it. That's the gets the driver scratching medium punch with better tools to do so. Heavy kick Tatsu, full quarter carry. Backs up for the Go Shoryu for the anti-air. Shimmy game on point, but nothing big trying to reassess. Reconfigure. There's the perfect parry and the DP. Get a swing.
Oh my! That was a low crush and a half. Are you gonna get for level 2? Don't do it from this far. Don't do it. It's rough. Yeah, you can see Uriel buffering for that fireball. The first one didn't come. And what? Dude, that is mad active. It stopped the startup of the adamant flame. He used that to kind of bait out that exact normal too. Uriel getting very, very lucky with that one. Oh.
To the crouching medium kick, level 3. Buckeye spin. Right into it's time to train. Back to the lab again. Uriel, first game. Better than dead.
Yeah, even without the drive gauge behind it, he still had a palm to follow through with it. A lot of damage. The big output coming in from Uriel. Game 1. 2 rounds straight, too. Bonchan looking a little flustered.
It's like, damn, I gotta worry about JV players too? That's Street Fighter 6, every character can get you. Palm, swig.
Give me a reason to play this character again, Uriel.
Get Bolt Strike too.
Bolt Strike is so good. All the highlights he's been putting up, looks just so him and Hatson, they're so optimal, yo. Speed of optimal. I like that. Yeah, off of the dive kick to get yourself into level 4. Oh, got the walk back. The frame trap.
Heavy kick. Beautiful stuff. So that the skies, that back heavy kick will catch them. Fireball follow up right after. Have to be careful with the drive gauge. Will be a palm, but you have stand light kick. Fireballs interrupt that. He waits for him to come down on the ground, punish counter, full record sequence. Crouching Muta kick, but the whip punish is there. He's in burnout though. What's the wicked decision? He holds the throw. Oh.
Brother, I didn't know he actually had time to jump out. I thought he was just gonna sit there and hold that.
I thought so too. Rio, side switch to get the sweep. He's on that point. He gets Akuma with the Jamie. Who would have thought? Driver's throw, tap parry. Be a button this time. Yeah, medium.
No way! Yo, you reset still? Rio could actually amass his comeback if he lands this burnout. Oh, we spoke too soon. Launch at number 1. Seals the deal. Stays alive 1 round.
As you mentioned, that would have been in Orio's favor if he had learned or landed the burnout, excuse me, and went to the corner into a sequence off at level 3. First throw though, get better about reading defensive habits of Oreo. We see like throws more often than not against the tap parry with punishes outside the distance and not overextending. Get caught with a crouching Muta kick. Gets a crouching Muta kick from the side. A botch in the land. DP. Frame kill. Walks back. To land the crouching Muta kick. Again, Bonchan reading these normals a lot better. Leads into a sip of calamity, not the sauce. Jamie won it at all. Too potent.
That's the little punish counter. Drivers forward. Trying to tempt the button, and this is huge. No way you become a highlight reel off of this. There's no way off level 3. It's critical art. In fact, that's gonna be just fine for Bonchan for now, unless. Yeah, there's no way it kills. I was gonna say. But the burnout sequence will though.
Jamie wins.
And that's gonna be the big W. The big pop-off from Urio. Taking a look, as you mentioned, after that sip of calamity was over, as soon as Urio got the big turnaround and also landed the CA, that was lights out. That's such a tough position to be in because of Jamie's opportunities off of a throw in the corner. It's so difficult to try to play defense against that, whether it's the throw baits, or sorry, the throw loops, whether it's the spacing trap to keep you in place. You can't jump out of that if he puts out a medium kick. There's so much that Jamie can keep you locked down with, and it was so bad. It was so tough for Bonchan as soon as that critical art had landed.
Bar at the bottom to fight back with an all good realization and to bring it back from what could have been a stand fierce and a fireball to kill right there. Man, it's not even just about like, I don't even think it's like, people may watch this and be like, well, he don't play many Jamie players, so he didn't know the matchup. It's the spacing traps, it's the footsies, it's the optimization, it's taking away the drive gauge, and then also taking away the bar. Like, okay, the bar's off the table, I know what I can do. If I get a side switch, I get my W. I'm still in the game, I can still win, because he can't do much if he's up in the corner. And look at that, avoiding the super continuously. After the super hit, it was, as you said, lights out for the Akuma player. Drive rush, medium, drive impact on wake up. Stand fierce, drive impact again. Nothing you can do with no bar at the bottom. 20 points. No longer the new kids on the block, but just as potent as they've ever been. Second off at the gaming Osaka, up 20. Who do you send up right now to finish the job?
Ooh, that's a tough question. Personally, I like Fenrich with Blanca, but I also haven't seen Eita play yet, right? I think that's I think I'm not crazy off of that one. I think we haven't seen, we have not seen Eita play. But
right. Oh, it is Fenrich on the Blanca, as you called it.
I mean, you know, to be fair, I think Eita thought he was going up as well.
He was like, me? No, not me? Okay, all right. That would have been fun, though. I would like to see how two aggressive Akuma players kind of collide together of similar playstyle, but they want to go for a more safe and solid option with the Blanca. However, I feel like early days Akuma Blanca players are like, this matchup sucks. Fireballs is too fast. you know, he can deal with a lot of what I want to do as well. The usual things that you hate to fight in a Shoto matchup for Blanca are there, but he explodes, obviously. So I don't know what happens now. I don't know what's going on now. Crushing medium punch not being as strong of a tool if it whiffs, but on hit still really good. I'm wondering what's going to happen in the neutral. I wonder if Core Fierce of Okuma will deal with that. However, I guess a safer solid option than running the mirror match.
Perhaps. I don't know how often Shuto gets the practice against like a high-level Blanca outside of maybe like there was one Nishikin, right? Nishikin was like the only Blanca player that's really kind of like grinding it out in Japan, at least from a public's perspective. I don't know how many other like Blancas are hidden in the jungle, to be fair. But yeah, Fenris being one of them now, it's like how much practice have you had against the player more so than the matchup now?
That's a good point. That's a good point. I want to see how that Shuto style works out in a first to 3 in a longer set. You know, some of that you point out before is super aggressive with the aerial approach, demon raids continuously. My man will forego the fireballs as like a zoning tool, use them as pokes to set up for demon raid flips continuously. That has been a core component of his Akuma game plan. It's kind of why Akuma's so cool is they have these different toolkits. You can definitely see the DNA per Akuma and who's playing them based on what they're using. And you can see that with Shuto. I'm wondering how Blanca will deal with that. Will the heavy kick as the anti-air choice? Will just be the ODDP that we see from Blanca as well, the charge up, air to air, so like jump meet him in the Blanca ball, knock him down on the ground if he has the right proper spacing, jump by Jag. We'll see. Shuto says, I wasn't expecting Finrich to come, but I have never played with CAG players other than Finrich. Is there any other player really playing in CAG? Bro, you young cats are slinging mud.
You know, this isn't the first time we heard this type of confidence from the side of Shuto coming from day one. And he backed it up. He managed to wipe Ryuki and his face on the floor, getting a 2-0 victory against him over in day one. So I don't mind this. I don't mind this kind of confidence.
Yeah.
But his is way more harsh in comparison. Like, you have someone like Moke who kind of does the same kind of thing, right? Where he's like, yeah, I'm the best. You know, I'm feeling great today. My opponent, no problem. I don't think I've played this character. I don't play this matchup. Whatever. It's gonna be fine. But yeah, I think it's the demeanor is so much worse for Shuto. He's angry, man. Is this what happens when you main Marisa for an entire season and decide, man, what happened to all my time and effort? Like.
Man, so I'm going with that Shoto flaw. I got a DP now. I got a top tier out here. Let's see if he's top tier in this match, though. Shuto versus Finrich. Take it. If he's actually prepared and ready for the block player, at least he gave credit to Finrich. Let's see. I'm curious again, that aerial style, how it's going to work out against Blanca or someone like Finrich. You see him juking down, looking for the charge and not getting blown up low with the crouching middle kick. It's a throw, though. Slide applied, overhead, the whole parry, but throws right after, though. Punish counter.
Oh. You tried to go airborne, you tried to leave. That was a meaty, by the way. Again, the same sequencing. Fenrich, all he has to do is spend the bar. OD up ball for the remainder of Akuma's health. Being able to save and deposit that one stock of super to bring it into the next round. Counter hit, the big punish counter. What's in the water? It's sweet.
Top super the corner carry. OD. Gonna expend too much right here. So only fair to get that bar back as well. Put more fireballs on. Have to be not so predictive. You can slide through. Crouching medium punch, drive rush right after. That button's still good. Stay with it. The reward is still there. Classic. Oh, was it the drive impact? Had even close to the wall. That might have worked out, but level 3. Not the block a bite.
What's the burnout? Does that full drive? Damn! What? My man was moving a mile a minute. I didn't block that. Did you?
No. 95 and a 65. Pull this man over.
That's jail time, brother.
Years.
Oh. man, what a first game. I mean, what the momentum that CAG Osaka is on right now is unmatched. These guys have been undefeated thus far, and I like this energy that Fenrich is bringing to the table.
I do too. It's been so good to stop the aggressive approach here from Shuto. The defense is just not there so far. Level 1 will get it done more than enough. But you see round start heavy kick to delete the dive kick, the demon ray, I should say, off the table. Disallowing that approach. That crouching medium punch has also been a clutch tool in the neutral against Akuma. Or crouching light punch as well. Add more on the table. Why not, Fenrich?
That was a counter hit, by the way. Being able to poke with a sweep is so good. Man, what is the influence of these Akuma players going into Sarit lately?
I have no idea. Fuji Morrigan thinking different.
Like, I get the range. I totally respect the range on that, but man, that thing is hella negative.
Jump back. Oh, God, the only fireball did not land in time to block it out. Started combo into Tatsu, but that felt like it was more Fenrich's own mistakes than it was Shuto taking that W on his own.
I can agree with that. Yeah, Fenrich actually got caught slipping midair to Shuto, showing off a different approach too with the overhead. Target combo, just the first 2 hits, uppercut into level 3. This is going to be pretty disastrous for the health bar, but Fenrich, he's still maintaining a couple of bits of bar, has some health to deal with it as well. But it's always going to be the frame trying to come in. Shuto slamming on the ground, very reminiscent of the muscle mommy slamming his opponents into the ground. That was very well executed from Shuto. The first game being awarded to the crazy Raccoon offense from Shuto. The man to make the team bleed for the first time, actually. Fenrich has to reassess and go back to the character selection screen. I like this from both ends. I really like the aggression from both sides. Shuto has never really been one of an aggressor other than the moments where he actually like lands the hit. He's been a very counter poke heavy player, but he's showing a lot of different looks with the frame traps too. And also the only one that's fully utilizing, well, I don't want to say fully utilizing, but the one that's showcasing the kick target combo the most.
Yeah, usually you see that maybe it's a book like in burnout, but now he's using that as like a conversion tool. That's something that Kawano will kind of do, but he's using it way more often, so I definitely want to say he's in that top spot. Also with the demon ray, also with the switch up that we see from the aerial approach, it's not just dive kick or guillotine, it's OD fireball as well. That did catch Fenrich slipping, and that also allowed for more variance on the table, I think, overall, where Fenrich is like, I have to worry about all these different things if he goes up to the air. If he does go for a fireball and it's not timed right, like that's a fireball and a drive rush right after for the pickup, and he mistimes a heavy kick. Like, that could be bad for Fenrich. In the corner, also, he's getting defeated. I don't know if he's teching continuously or just holding north. We saw the back heavy kick also hit. So, like, Shuto's aggression is working out. He just has to establish the aerial approach continuously, and it's giving Fenrich some pause. Now, this all being said, Fenrich can switch it up a little bit. Maybe, I actually don't know what he needs to do. Maybe a little bit better on defense in terms of like breaking just a little bit. And like when he's in that quarter position, taking the throw more often than not. You know, that was a tick, stand light punch and a crouching medium punch. Had he just held back, they got smoked, but easier said than done when you're put under pressure of the Sasuino sauce.
No, I do kind of like agree with that too. I mean, like, you could have the juice for a temporary amount of time, but sauce is forever. I think Shuto sticking with this character is going to be a very interesting journey going into like Street Fighter League, right? He's also under the tutelage of other Akuma mains, specifically Bonchan, and it's not going to be the first time he's ever had to like switch off to a character and try to figure himself out, right? But once he does, I think he could be like one of the biggest threats that we could ask for. He's found that kind of journey with himself in Street Fighter 5 as well with his Yuri, being able to take a character so far. But we'll see. Again, he's the first one to get that W on the board. I don't know what to call on that one, but you know what, brother? You do you.
We talked about it. Aggressive Akuma sweep as the challenge on the drive rush. This guy is wild. Perfect parry. Did the punish right after. I'm assuming a knockdown here. Oh, the teleport off. You would have tapped parry, would have been even worse. What an assistant right there. Yeah, that is plus. Do not press. You're pressing against the wall right now. Having Tatsu dropping down to the ground. Frame kill. Back to the drive rush. In for the throw again. That's a win. Bro, the timings when he gets a knockdown are wild. And how he is stopping the drive rush with a demonic daddy. This guy's good.
Demonic who?
He's switching it up, baby. Back to level 2.
Back roundhouse. Dive kick, uppercut. Out of there. Again, he's like, hello, officer. Good to see you again. Goodbye. Just speeding on through. Gets Blanca Jr. out. Come on, Junior.
Burnout,
so
drive impact. Yeah. Attack on drive gauge. Rumble is coming right here.
Jesus. So much aggression for both ends too, and I love the adaptation too. This is the kind of Street Fighter I love to see, right? When offense meets offense. I want to see exactly what happens now. When Shuto is put on the back foot yet again, Fenrich has been showing up that back medium kick, and it's been up to Shuto to kind of recognize that, and he does so correctly with the OD uppercut, but still on the back foot again in the corner. The big counter play too from the counter poke light, jump back. You can't do that against someone like Blanca because of jump back medium punch being able to cancel into the ball. Target combo gets assessed, gets read, and also gets punished for it.
You block it out. No, he went for a button. Pick up level 1, get some distance. Surprised it wasn't level 2, but you'll take that teleport. A jump back. You've seen it before. You know, it's historic level 2, harass the drive gauge. Once the defensive decision, it's just getting hit. It's one of those things where it's like, what do you do before the burnout happens? Do you try to VP? You try to jump out? I think saw movement. He lifted off the ground for a little bit, so I think Shuto try to take the skies and avoid. But now it's game point here. Fenrich getting better with the anti-airs, sniffing out the ODDPs. He'll take 1 or 2, but all he needs is 1 to equalize, especially against Akuma.
Yeah, there aren't a lot of mistakes that you could make with someone like Akuma with a damage output that Blanca still has, right? Even though Blanca-chan may not be in the equation as often, you're still getting the damage output that any character could kind of get on Akuma, which is kind of dastardly. I think there's a lot of risk-reward assessments that Shuto is really great at in terms of recognizing when to bust out with some of the big expensive moves like OD uppercut. Even also in the counter poke game, trying to throw out a normal that's -12 within the right ranges, and also being able to figure out what kind of movement Fenrich is on in a certain type of beat or certain type of a situation. It's so difficult right now still for Shuto though, even with all of that, because Fenrich, he has such a wild character, right? Blanca is still one of those matchups where you have to tread very, very soft or very, very carefully because of the different looks that he could give you. We already seen the mobility that this character has, being able to drive rush forward, being able to Amazon River run to the other side and bait something out. That makes it that much harder to contest. Fenrich has thrown off so many different looks, but in all fairness as well, Fenrich has been going to the well with a couple of meaties thus far, and it's been like, what are you supposed to do off of the mix afterwards? Like, he's a fighters player, man. He knows how to mix up the offense and figure out what you're trying to do before you do it.
In addition to like the waste, I don't want to say like a waste of bar, but like using ODDP means you're expending some drive gauge, and then usually around that time you see level 2 come through from Fenrich. He's like, okay, cool, you popped that ODDP, you got some space, I pop my level 2, I put you in burnout, and you die. Like that expended bar continuously from Shuto is leading into situations where more often than not he's ash. So game point right here, sweet. Round starts have been ridiculous. I don't know why we see what we see continuously. The reads have been next level. He does get the sweep with the dive kick, but right after it, I want to see more fireballs. I want to see like the fireball approach, not so continuously, but to help establish aerial approach, the ground approach to be able to walk up with buttons like you like to with Akuma.
The tap parry coming in from Fenrich. He's very aggressive with the throws so far. The counter hit? How did that even happen?
It was low.
Blanca no longer plus after the OD airball.
Round 2. Fight.
Either way, the neutral jump works out. Even put, okay, we switch with the spacing with light, but Fenrich doesn't bite. Goes to the corner. You can't do that raw. It had been a mistake. What a waste, too, of a perfectly good Blanca chair.
He's got plenty more in the storage. He's got a warehouse full of... That's where he keeps all the mix. Nah, you thought you could get away with it? Drive impact. We're going to the next game for unless he drops it, which he won't. OD adamant fist into level 2. Bang, blows a hole through his chest, but more importantly, the overalls, man. That was his last pair. Shuto taking it 2 games straight now against Fenrich.
Or saw the neutral. I see fireballs every so often. Again, not too much, but just to disallow any sort of that like dash up or hot approach. Preemptively put the fireballs out every so often. Walk up with your fantastic normals for a medium kick, stand fierce for fierce, and then do the damage you need to do. Even though the light demon flip didn't really work out to bait something out from Fenrich, it still is like, dang, you can still do that from that distance. And there's a chance where I could have hit the ODDP and whipped and ate a ton of damage right after. Also conserving the drive gauge a little bit better is Shuto. He's not having to use it for ODDP as much, or he's not having taken away because level 2 isn't in play. And that mistake from Fenrich was unfortunate. Like, yeah, it didn't kill him, but it's like, okay, damn, now he gets a knockdown drive rush right after the target combo. He allows him to reassess and put himself back in the neutral. Game point for both players.
Right, it's been back and forth. I did misspeak a little bit earlier with Shuto taking 2 down in a row, but this has been a very, very educational type of game. Who is going to go Unga Bunga first, I feel like, has been the trend. And, like, sure, I could joke around about it, but I want to say Fenrich's defense is kind of getting exposed by Shuto. Like, Shuto has been so difficult to assess between his strike throw game, and we've seen, like, remnants of the way he wanted to play Marisa being shown off in his Akuma.
Yeah, that stand fierce feels like a Gladius, before fierce too as well. But without the armor, but with more drive rush behind it, especially on counter too as well, really good buttons. I do want to agree about the defense from Fenrich. When he's playing the back foot continuously, we see him teching, holding north, getting hit with the back heavy kick and the fireball, which leads into quite a bit. And those reads that Shuto has on the defensive tactics get him so much mileage. For Akuma, that's what you're looking for. You're looking to blow people up with any sort of interaction. If you get an OD adamant fist, it's going to lead into a ton of damage. And now Shuto has the bar at the bottom to cash out for level 3, level 2 if need be. Doesn't matter. I mean, this character is a glass cannon, but he is still a cannon for a reason. Will we see something of a tie, or will we see the end? CHG moving on in the bracket with 40 in their pocket.
After what we've seen today, I'm pretty amped up this morning, so I'm pretty sure we can definitely go for a tiebreaker scenario, right? I mean, at this pace currently, Fenrich, he's trying to make it so that it's 3 straight up. Okay. Punish counter again. Drive rush forward. Overhead does get blocked, but we're still going to be having a good time with those normals, the light normals as well to pursue. That's way high up. On the side switch, he's going for it all the way. Yo, Fenrich, again, applying some of the throws here. He's playing so fast. Back-to-back plus frames on the back medium kick, but now Shuto, how do you get out of here? Dive kick the trade still. Fenrich, he hasn't stopped letting go of the gas. Oh, the speed bump of crouch jab, especially after a negative situation from the Blanca ball midair.
Oh, here we go, level 2. It's a W, calls on the drive reversal, finds a follow. Either way, he would have cooked him for most decisions. Set point, what a call on that drive reversal though. Sequencing Miss Blanca has been next level, and just holding the dive kick. Holds the overhead though. Heavy kick Tatsu. Back to the corner, going the fireball right after. Blocks against the OD Blanca ball. The sweep again. The speed bump.
All tied up, 1 round apiece. Damn, we're actually looking at match point from both sides, but I like the fact that 2 bars into the name of Shuto to be a little bit favorable. That jumping was raw, but that combo was not. Like, you gotta cook it up just a little bit more, Fenrich.
The throw, but he read it though. Blanca ball aerial addition to catch the throw. Activates the level 2, the pickup. One more decision, you're through. Back medium kick for the plus frames. Back in again, my man's holding parry for damn dear life. With the throw again, not the Blanca bite. The fake out again, breaks and hits him with another throw. One more, does it again, that's 3 in a row. Fenrich, eating him up in the corner. 40-point CHG Osaka. Damn.
If you were to sit here and tell me we would get full-on sweeps like this for Division F, I would have believed you. No, I'm totally kidding. I would have called you a liar because this was one of the matchups where I felt like was such a toss-up just because of the team composition, right? You have different looks. You have characters that are being played by players that didn't main them in Season 1. Right, Goichi with Cammy, Urio with Jamie, Fenris with Blanca. Nobody could have told me, or at least if anybody would have told me that they were gonna 40-0 against Crazy Raccoon, I would have been like, yo, where's your wallet at? I would have 100% been like, yo, get that paycheck out. Let me see if you're about your money. I would have got smoked. I would have got smoked.
I'm with you, bro. On paper, it makes sense that Crazy Raccoon would have taken it at least give us more games. But wow,
at least 10 to 20 points, right?
At least, like, Jamie especially, and also a new Cammy, a brand new. He just got just took the package off, just took the plastic off. It's like, yeah, I just bought it yesterday. And was still able to operate against Dogura in this match with Fenrich, bro. Fenrich defensive reads against like reversal throw, calling out certain buttons and things like that every so often. The space traps, killing the drive gauge was in his head like the back of his eyelid. Shuto couldn't do nothing at the very end. Those OD DPs, that aggression we saw in Wake Up with buttons or reversal DPs, not coming out at all. Fenrich was just in there continuously, man. I cannot believe this happened. 40 baller for CAG.
Yeah.
What a season.
I think it just blends really well. This is like right in the wheelhouse of how Fenrich wants to play because like we know his history in other fighting games, right? He understands how to play under like fast-paced scenarios. And I think his transition to Blanca, because this character can be very, very much so fast-paced. He is in a really great position right now in terms of character and player growth. I think him going towards Blanca just makes so much sense, right? Him going from like JP also, like watching the way he played, I understand like he knows how to control a character that just controls so much of the screen, and he knows so much more about like screen positioning as to when to optimize in certain special moves or how to like keep somebody from going back. But him being on the Blanca just makes too much sense in comparison to Shuto and the Akuma.
It's not that Shuto's playing bound the Akuma, it's just that he is, when it comes down like those defensive decisions at the end of the day, as they both play aggressive and they were neck and neck, it's just one or two defensive decisions, calling out a throw tech, calling out certain options, space trapping, that led Fenrich to victory at the very end, which just again goes to show like how good he is. As you mentioned, within a short amount of time with these characters, he switched over, I'm assuming, this season or just recently, as it feels like most of these players did. And for some of them, they went down the tier list and still were able to take the W. That is, to me, that's incredible. Like that is indicative, I think, of like what happens when you find a character for you, no matter where they're at in terms of what's the observed strength of the characters. You know, yeah, CR definitely has the higher level characters or across the board, or it's perceived to be, but it didn't matter. Like the matchups didn't really matter. Obviously, Cammy and Bison definitely mattered, but when it came to like Jamie, when it came to Blanca, two characters that people don't play or put to the side, and how they operated was actually incredible. CAG. We're gonna the winner interview here. Aetha, who was on the bench, said people think I wasn't playing again, but this time we were all choosing who to go. Unfortunately, Sakonoko didn't play, so that's why I didn't play. Goichi says, thank you for all the support from the practice partners who let me play Cammy here. So he definitely was, it wasn't recreational. It was for serious business. That Cammy was real.
Yes.
And Uriel says, that was a real one. Uriel says, I'm happy to win against Akuma. And this game was all about the perfect pairing.
I think I'll agree with that. Yeah, I think it's hard to even call out an MVP for this team, just from the way they've all performed, right? Goichi, dominant Cammy play against Dogura. I would love to see him like further execute this character, or execute with this character going forward. Udio with the Jamie has been so inspirational, to be honest with you. Like the way that he utilizes his spacing traps too, and his aggression has been very much so welcomed in the current atmosphere of Street Fighter 6. I love being able to watch a good Jamie, truly. And in totality, both Udio and Goichi getting their runbacks, or I guess like Udio was the only one that fell short, right? Udio getting his run back, Goichi maintaining his W position, and same with Fenrich. It's the same exact team roster that we saw from CAG, and it's still continuing to give them the points they deserve. 70 points to their name, by the way. I think they might be tied with Hiroshima Team Ikusa thus far. But I will say, like, if just in case for the sake of breaking things down, I think overall, in terms of the win record, because CIG Osaka had such a commanding win with 4 games straight initially, I think they might be at the top of the leaderboard. Who knows? But going into it, towards the end, Fenrich, I was so nervous I couldn't press the button, but my team helped me out on the mental side, so thank you all. Goichi, unfortunately, we couldn't do a public view because of the typhoon. It's understandable. I'm seeing like subway entrances completely flooded. I don't know if that was real or not, but I definitely seen that on Twitter. He said, but we were able to win here, and we'll do even better next episode. I'm going to call you out on that, Goichi. I don't know how you can go past 40.
I don't think it's possible. Maybe even more demanding play. This was a close game. We saw, again, offense versus offense, but defense wins games, as we see. Putting that man on burnout in level 2. He was able to get through and put Shuto on the back foot. There's some good moments like drive impact here from Shuto. But when it came down to it, like Reed's right here with like the ODTK Blanca ball, even though it didn't work out here in terms of burnout, the second part did with level 2. But there were other sequences where he was reading defensive timings, the DPs, and too many throws. And Shuto not waking up with buds or OD shows to me, again, that Fenrich was in his head. 40 points. CAG Osaka, again, looking at these teams, a lot of people might err on the side of caution and go with, you know, Crazy Raccoon, considering the pedigree of the players on that team. And where CAG was at last year, they weren't bad, but you look at Fave Gaming, you look at how Bonchan was performing, it's like, dang, I will go for that team. 40 points what we see today, CAG. And then also Hiroshima Team Itsuka, another team that people are picking to be front runners. Even more so now, we're making a statement for their 40-baller. This is a league no one's going to be able to call. I wouldn't put down any bicycle on anything. I would go broke.
No, I feel that. And it's so difficult, not difficult, sorry. It's so interesting to see like these two teams go at it because they're like former teammates and whatnot. You know, Crazy Raccoon being the new kids on the block technically by name only and by team. But again, CAG Osaka, well-deserved W, man. Especially all they've been through. I mean, the highest placings they've had from the previous league results, 5th place overall, and that was a very I think it was one of my favorite teams, right? You had Goichi, Dogra, you had Kazunoko, and there was a 4th there too. I saw in my head. I think it might have been Fenrich, but either way you spin it, that was such a highly competent team, such a highly competitive team too. So I thought they would make it all the way before, but now taking a look at the standings, I feel like they might be the one to go to for playoffs, but don't let me be the one to jinx them. 70 points apiece, CAG Osaka, as well as Hiroshima Team Ikusa. As I mentioned, Osaka being ahead because of the tiebreaker or the game differential. But those two are the leading teams thus far. But looking at the schedule for later on, Division F is going to be coming up. Going to be coming up on the 3rd of September. It's going to be the Oja team versus Saishunkan Seoul Kumamoto. Good 8 squad versus Detonation Focus Me, as well as Shinobiism Gaming going up against Ibushigen towards the end. And of course, followed after that, again, you guys are going to jot down your schedules. Division F, who do we have?
Itsuka versus Crazy Raccoon. CAG going up against Yogibo. And VARREL versus FAV Gaming Belc, balancing it out. So this is going to be bangers upon bangers every single week. It's going to be hard to call once again who's going to be taking these top points out here. We've been seeing a lot more 40-ballers, and I know that these players will take the weekend to really reassess why they won or why they lost. So I can only expect even better action as we go through, as you see on the calendar, Mark, every single day that we have for Street Fighter League play, because we're going to have a lot. So we're going to take some breaks here and there for the CPTs, but we'll come right back with more Street Fighter League action as we go through the season, as we try to figure out who's going to be the top 3 teams for the playoffs, and then of course the top teams out there will go to the grand finals at the very end of the year for that finale next year.
Yeah, looking pretty packed for both ends for September and October, right? We at least have 5 games going on throughout the weeks of September, in between the weekend of the 13th, 14th, and 15th. I do believe we have one of the big events happening during that time, but also in October there's going to be a jam-packed schedule. At least we had 6 games going on in October, but for the most part we have East Coast Throwdown for sure in October, and I believe one of the other major events that's going to be coming up in some of the slides later on. But for the most part, you guys have been tuning in to Street Fighter League Japan. You guys have been hanging out with the Western English restream, and we appreciate you guys, truly. If you guys want to follow along with everything that's been going on, obviously Capcom Fighters for the West, _ St. Cola, Vicious FTC, that's where you can find us. Let us know how you feel about the matches thus far. Let us know your thoughts and opinions in regards to how the production's going too, because all of this information, they want to make sure that they do it right. So a lot of the times, both of these teams from the production side, both the game and the esports division, they are very much so looking forward to your feedback. And there we go. By the way, one of the big super premieres happening in November. If you guys are in Japan, be sure to hit up that QR code to attend. But for the most part, make some room in your calendar to watch it. I know for sure St. Cola and myself will be watching. I don't think either of us are going to be hired for that one because neither of us speak Japan, but either way, it's going to be very, very fun to watch this with everybody else going on in November, right?
100%. Definitely can't wait to be screaming and shouting at 3 a.m. in my home. I know my neighbor's going to hate that, but it's going to be an excitable one right there. As it gets closer towards like the end and we start having less and less for these offline premieres, and like the World Warriors start shifting away to certain players, you start seeing more people travel out, and this one is definitely super for a reason. So I can't wait to see all the shakeups of players that don't leave Japan, that are just like hidden demons out there doing work and maybe shaking up the brackets. I think, is that the talent that they're going to have out there? I don't know what this is, but I do see Kawano. I see Dogura. Is that Dogura? I can't see. Is that Betty?
Yeah,
also, like the really good.
It is Betty.
Yeah, Betty.
Yeah.
Oh, she's amazing.
She's good. She's actually very close to legend rank, I think, from the last couple of streams. Also, she's been practicing with a lot of pro players recently, so seeing her journey has actually been kind of insane. That journey, man, I had the luxury of being able to watch her play in person over at Evo Japan. She had a very large crowd behind her too. I think she's become quite the superstar in the realm of Street Fighter. As for the first person, I'm gonna say I'm ignorant to some of the talent, but a lot of the players have really gone above and beyond the streaming side of co-streaming some of the big events. So shout out to them for keeping it super active, and I truly mean super active. And speaking of which, there's so many ways of viewing a lot of these events, specifically the World Warrior events going on, a part of the Capcom Pro Tour. World Warrior Japan, the official public viewing, going on over at Esports Style Ueno in Tokyo. So that's going to be a very, very fun day for a lot of the folks at home, happening on September 1st on a Sunday. You see the time slot there too. Aru and Hamiko, those are your MCs and commentators, not only for this episode of Street Fighter League Japan, but also for World Warrior. These guys have been throwing it down, and it was really, really cool. They came over to Evo, Las Vegas. Jammers and I had the luxury of being able to take a picture with them. They were really, really, really super cool too. So hopefully we get to play against them as well. They are insanely good at this game, by the way. They are insanely good.
I'm playing him. I'm playing Aru in Street Fighter 5, and he cooked me up with a Zeku. Couldn't do anything with the Bison, so I like my rematch. All right, but they're good. So I don't know if I'll get my lick back on that one. But hey, as you said, hit the QR code to view the World Warriors. It's going to be a fantastic time this weekend, it looks like. So join up and watch some good Street Fighter with all of us. And if you're, of course, needing to join up a World Warrior in the area, well, second one is coming up, as we just mentioned, this weekend. Sign up for yours too as well on the official website. If you're not in the land of Japan, go ahead and sign up for your applicable region. If you are in Japan, well, sign up soon. If you aren't, watch it with us. It'll be a fun time. And if you want some offline action, Singapore is coming up. As you see, October 18th, offline action. I will be watching from the States.
Dude, back-to-back super premieres happening. ECT is literally the weekend before that, the weekend of the 12th. and then Singapore back to back is going to be insane. Like, I don't even know if we have. I didn't get to check out the schedule for October for Street Fighter League Japan. I know I wrote it down on my phone, but dude, seeing these players having to go from event to event offline, it feels great. You know, it's the small steps forward, being able to do so. But again, you guys have been tuning in. A lot of folks at home checking this out for the first time. I'm glad you're with us. For those that have been veterans of Street Fighter League, welcome back. Be sure to treat yourselves to some nice merchandise from the teams as well. Eventually, we'll have, hopefully, some sort of giveaways or some sort of like interactions with the fans at home over in the Battle Lounge like we usually do every single season. That'll be happening probably later on, I would assume. But either way, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us for the most part. You guys have been tuning in to day 2 of Division F. A lot of crazy plays, man. If you guys are tuning in like halfway through, I highly encourage you guys to check out the VOD. There's a lot of very specific matchups you should check out and a lot of diversity coming in from all of the gamers that have competed today. St. Cola and I, we will definitely be seeing ourselves out in just a little bit. We're probably both going to get evicted, but that's the fun part, truly. It's been an absolute pleasure with you guys, and it truly is worth it, right?
Well, people, that's it. Stay safe, and we will see you in the streets. Until next time, Street Fighter League Japan.
本日はディビジョン F 第2節の3試合をお届けいたしました。実況は私 R、そして解説はハメコさんでお送りいたしました。ハメコさん、ありがとうございました。ありがとうございます。今日もね、非常に楽しい試合たくさん見れて、次回も楽しみですね。楽しみですね。はい、この後選手の音声入り本日のハイライト動画を流させていただきますので、こちらもお楽しみに。はい、それではディビジョン S 第3節でお会いいたしましょう。さよなら。さよなら。ホーム側ヨギボーリジェクトの入場でした。 OK、 苦しい。落ちない。天井脚が当たらず、しっかりと SS3 決めていく。これは届くか。これは
走ってきます。
しっかり倒しきり。トキド、あー、バレている。ミスはなし。マゴトキのこの対決。さあ、今回は孫のジュリに軍配。
オッケー。危ねえ。危ねえ、これ負けたらやばかった。よく今よう競り勝った。今すげえな。いや怖かった。
フリッカーはかなり打ちづらいでしょう。 SS3 でデルタレットアサルトがあるんで。ラッシュ前に来る。通してきた。賢い。そしてさあ1個キャノンまで。そしてさあ1個キャノンまで。
やったい。うまい。レシャこれ聞こえるようにして。
いやどんまいだな。いや申し訳ない。どんまい。
使わない。
使わず。いやー、欲張りすぎる。強欲の中断。そして最後はミスはなし。勝利の間がつき。
いいの？いや、いいの？いいの？ありがとう。ラッシュ中断なんだよな。
俺も中断気をつけなきゃな。
ありがとう。うわ中断か。中断。
またもや一歩返してる。返している。
これ SA ゲージ溜まっちゃう。
そうですね。ゲージが溜まって。
オッケー、いくだろう。よし。
ナイス。よしよしよしよし。
いいよ。
いやさすがすぎます。
やってるんで。
パリスルが防いきれない。そして投げ。
パニシカウント起こしてるぞこれ。まずい。SA ゲージでもない。
いやー、連続ヒット。ここはスタミナって。
オッケー。
コンボしっかり。
よっしゃー、ナイス。
40
ナイ
よっしゃ
ー。ナイス。
ありがとうマジで。いやうまかったんだけど。マジか。これはしゃあないな。いやごめん。
投げが入って。怖すぎる。
打たない。投げ。
はい、当たるよ。完璧。素晴らしい。完璧やったな。完璧。オッケー。 よし。
こいつがいればうちの村は安泰だ。
いやいや、これも試験じゃないか。ここボンちゃんにゲージはない。さあそしてバウンド中、画面端にはスタンがある。発射が中、インパクト、インパクト。
おい誰でこいつ無料っつったらもう有料にしろ。強すぎんだろお前。
ドキついとこれ。いやー投げている。相手は動き。どうするシュート。最後まで投げ。フェンリッチが見せた。
投げた最後まで来た。
相手は動き。
やりました。ありがとうございます。